Hey everyone, this is Al from Red Leaf Sports. If you want to interact with us, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Red Leaf Sports. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes and Spotify.
Hey everyone, and welcome to episode number 13 of the Red Leaf Sports Podcast. I'm Jay Marinelli, and I'm going to introduce the boys around the table, starting with my co-host, Big Al.
What's up, Jay? Happy to be here tonight, man.
What's shaking, brother?
Oh, lots of good stuff. We got lots of stuff to talk about, and our second segment's going to be really fun, I think.
We finally got another guest to come on the podcast, so that's always a nice feeling for us. And rounding it up with our boy, T-Man, Anthony Magnotta.
What's going on, guys?
How you doing, bud?
Hey, T.
What's up?
How was everybody's weekend? Everybody good?
It's good. So it's Sunday night now.
Good
We're
stuff.
watching Steelers Chargers. That's our game of the night tonight.
Yes, it is. Big matchup. And so you ignore my question about your weekend.
That's it. That was my weekend.
That's it. Your weekend is based on this game.
Yeah, I put up, okay, so
waiting for this Steelers
I put up
game.
my Christmas tree, which was nice.
Nice. Good.
It's not. It's I don't know.
Put it up
I
last
don't know. It's
week.
nice. It's for my daughter, I guess, more
Of
than
course.
more than me.
Right.
But it's just annoying. It's getting annoying now.
It's a good time, man. It's fun with the family.
Once
Enjoy
it's up,
it, man.
it's nice. Yeah.
What about you, Anth? Anything special going on this weekend?
I did nothing.
Not much.
Just relaxed.
Yeah,
Next couple weekends are going
I
to
could
be
be
pretty
busy.
Yeah,
So
jam-packed.
take what you can get now and just
That's
relax.
It's the holiday season, Christmas parties coming up.
Yeah.
I had an interesting situation that happened to me. I'll
Oh.
bring it up a little later, maybe. We won't get into it too
Jay.
deep right now.
Interesting situation.
I want to see what you guys think. I want to see what the listeners think about it. I don't want to go into it. It might be a little bit of a long story, so we'll save it for later, the second half. I'll bring it up at
like
the end
this.
of the pod. So let's brush that away. And as always,
Wait,
at this
now
time,
I'm so interested.
No,
we're
we gotta
gonna
wait.
say we're gonna leave you hanging on that one. That's a little teaser.
I like you tease the guy or our guest in the second segment.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Okay, perfect, Al. Thanks for reminding me, man. Yes, we have a friend of the show, and we did mention this a couple podcasts, or I believe last week. He's a friend of ours, Clem D'Orazio, assistant coach of the New England Black Wolves of the National Lacrosse League, and he's going to be joining us live in studio, the GLM studios, in the second half of the podcast, and that's going to be awesome. We're going to sit down, talk to him about
Red Leaf Sports exclusive.
Right, we're going to talk to him
real
about
what
coach.
it is.
lacrosse, the NLL, the lacrosse world. We don't really follow it at all, but it's huge in Canada, and I don't think it gets the exposure it deserves. So we're going to touch on all that, some stories, some funny, interesting stories he's got from lacrosse, and we'll tee that all up in the second half. But without getting too far into detail on that, let's start off our podcast as we always enjoy doing, the starting five.
Thanks, guys. You guys
No
ready
problem,
to go
man.
here?
Thank you. Let's do it.
Willie's coming home. It's finally over, guys. It's finally over.
Hold on, Ant.
Oh,
Here,
jeez.
Jay's got something lined up.
Oh. That's why he was playing it before we started. I didn't know why he kept playing
Yeah, I
this
didn't
song.
want to tell you guys.
What's with all the surprises today?
A lot of surprises. So Willie's coming home. Hot stove heating up in MLB offseason. NFL Week 3 rundown. 13 rundown.
Week 3 feels like week 3
It
just
does.
ended.
Oh,
It was
How
a
fast
fast
it's
year,
been.
man.
World Cup of, World of Soccer recap. And in the NBA, did we just witness a preview of the NBA Finals this past week?
Oh, did we? I don't know.
A couple of podcasts ago, we were talking about that the Warriors were slumping.
We're slumping.
And now,
Yeah.
now they're going to the finals.
Hey, they might be slumping again.
We
Two
were also-
losses in a row.
We were also saying that this is their first slump in like 6 years. So everybody, it's like a big deal because it hasn't happened forever.
Are we? You want to start off with the NBA?
Yeah,
Since
let's
we're
hit
just
NBA
talking
first.
about
Let's
it.
do NBA
Listen,
first.
Al, they're on a 6-game road losing streak. They haven't won a game on the road in 6 games. That's pretty.
So they're still slumping, is what you're
It's
saying.
pretty crazy. It's to think of that team again. injuries to Curry and Draymond Green. Curry did come back this past Saturday.
Did they win yesterday?
No, they lost to
Detroit?
to Detroit Pistons.
Wow.
So yeah, it's something where listen, there's some really solid teams in the
Dwayne
West.
Casey.
And I don't know if LeBron's gonna have what it takes to beat
LeBron's
dethrone
LeBron.
Golden State this year.
LeBron's LeBron this year. Like he'll normally just take a team and run with them, like he did with Cleveland. Like look how bad Cleveland looks now, without LeBron. Like that's how much he's making LA better, and they're not even that good. I think they'll make the playoffs, but
Do you think Toronto beats the Cleveland team now with LeBron?
oh, good question.
This year's Toronto Raptors
Like if
team.
LeBron's still in Cleveland now,
If LeBron's in Cleveland now,
are they in the top
wins?
top of
Good
the East, or is Toronto still the favorite?
you know what, man? I got a lot of confidence.
Regular season, I still think the Raptors would still be in the position they're in right now,
Yeah.
as the best team in the East. Come
Best team in the
playoffs,
league.
I'd love. We're not going to see it, but that's an interesting question, Ant, because
I think I got enough confidence in the Raptors now, and
20-4 is.
that's what I mean. I
the
think I
best
got enough
that we've ever
confidence with
seen.
them being that much better than they were last year. Plus,
They're definitely a lot better than they were last year, Al. Don't mix that up.
No, they
100%.
they are.
They absolutely are. The only thing is they got swept 4-0 last year. So
Yeah.
even if they are better, like
Still in their head.
it's still in their head. It's still that thing. But you got Kawhi Leonard here. You got Danny Green, proven winners, which this team didn't have before. So that's all it takes. And listen, that's in the past. So their worry this year is probably going to be. I still think the Celtics, even though they've been stumbling along, Milwaukee's come crashing back down to earth.
Yeah, you know
kind
what?
of playing 500 basketball.
They came off with a flash, eh?
Right after that big start. But guys, the West, like I don't think, like Golden State is obviously the darling, but
They're
Clippers,
not the darling. They're the team to beat, Jay.
right? Like sorry, yes, they're the number one.
They're
The
the team to
Clippers
beat.
though are off to an unbelievable start. Nobody's talking about them much. Denver, crazy, but these are teams that I wouldn't think Golden State is at all threatened by.
No, not at all.
I mean, you look at the stand.
even
Oklahoma
LeBron.
City, Lakers are in the 6th spot right now. Portland's in the 7th.
They're climbing fast, the Lakers.
It's really strange that Western Conference this year because
That's what the LeBron James effect. That's what he's doing to the Lakers. What he did for the Cavaliers, right? So
And-
they're going to make the playoffs.
They're only 2 games out of first. I mean, the West is jammed. 1 through 8 is only 4.5 games.
and the teams are odd. Again, we're what 25 games into the season.
Almost quarter way,
Yeah.
or just
20 to
past the
20
quarter way.
20 to 25
So
games.
this is the time where you do start actually paying attention to some of the standings, and I mean,
Oh
you
yeah,
got
according
teams
to your rules, right?
yeah, according to common sense,
According to
I'm
your rules, that you got to be a quarter of the way through. You can't
to
look
pay
before.
attention to the standings, absolutely. And look, the Clippers are still above on the top. Denver, like I said, so it's interesting to
San
see.
Antonio at 14th in the Western Conference is only a game out.
I think NBA has the worst website of the 4 sports.
Why don't you go on sports then?
I can go on whatever. I want to go on
You can go
NBA.com
on
to
a
see
lot
the
of
difference.
things, a lot of things.
Who's
But
that?
so anything else, guys? NBA. I think that and that's what we're going to be doing as well. We're going to start incorporating our follower questions, our listeners' questions that we
Into the
put up
starting
on
5.
Instagram story and Twitter. We're gonna anytime we're talking about a specific sport or topic, we're going to bring up those topics. So did we have anything?
Tommy G, one of our faithful listeners.
Yep.
He asked the question: do you think the Raptors will come close to or having the best regular season record of all time?
So beating Golden State's
73?
How many wins is
record.
it?
72,
I
73.
don't think so.
How many wins
I
is it?
definitely don't think so. But,
Sorry, how many losses is it? That's an easier way of...
They're 20-4 right now. They're 20-4 with a 3-game losing streak in there. So they could easily be right now 22-2, but they still have a tough stretch going on.
Well, the whole season's a tough stretch.
I don't think
The whole
they're going to
season's a
come
tough
close to
stretch.
that at the end of the day. I think they could finish definitely around 65 wins, maybe around there. That would be great to see. I don't think
65 wins is still so much.
Do you want to go through the schedule and see
the next
game by
game? Games?
But the problem is I don't see them losing. I don't see them being worse than any team. Like when you go up against any team right now, I expect them to win.
No, but they got a back-to-back against the Clippers and Golden State coming up. I think this week or next week. So
yeah, Clippers and Golden State on the West Coast. That's going to be a tough.
Yeah,
that's going to be a tough trip.
That could easily be 2 losses.
Or it could be a character trip, right?
Okay, let's do the next 10 games. Okay,
do the next 10. Let's see what happens.
Denver,
so 20-4 right now.
20-4 right now. So Denver.
In Denver or
in Denver?
Okay.
In Denver.
Sorry, no, in Toronto. Sorry,
yeah,
in Toronto.
That's a win.
Denver's second in the Western Conference right now.
That's a win.
But you should still win that game.
You're at home. You just beat the best team in the West. You might as well beat the second best team.
What's the next few?
Home to Philly.
Yeah.
Home to Philly. That's going to be a good game.
Another tough game.
So you're giving that one a win?
I don't know. Yeah, these are tough.
Those
are
not tough.
Two great.
Because you want to know why you want.
What do you mean they're not tough? Right now, they're playing the second place team in the West, and they're playing the third place team in the East.
Yeah,
of course.
Right now, you're trying to come up with excuses because in the back of your head, you're thinking, "Shit, you know what? They can win both of these games very easily. Every game they can win because they're better than any team right now."
So within these,
you just don't want to say that because you don't want to jinx the shit out of them.
No, I'm just saying I can't just say, "Yeah, that's a win against the second best team in the Western Conference." You can't just say that.
You don't have confidence in the Raptors like that?
Within these 10 games, they go through a 4-game span of Milwaukee, Clippers, Golden State, Portland, and then Denver again.
Those are all playoff teams.
Those are all top teams.
All very good teams.
Those are all very good teams.
Yeah,
it's the next 5.
They still have some tough stretches.
I'll be happy if they go 3-2.
Yeah,
in the next 5.
In that span.
3-2, I'll take.
We were talking about
3 games before
I
that.
suspect they go 4-1 or 5-0. I suspect.
Listen,
lose one game.
We talked about it the other night. Even if they go 10-4 in their next 14 games, that brings them to 30-8. That's still an unbelievable record.
There you go.
Right? So even if you go 10-4, right, in the next 14 games. So listen, they can get. They have the team to contest with that record. Of course, that team is unbelievable. But let's see injuries. Let's see Kawhi. Let's see
anything can happen.
Exactly. So
right, anything can happen. And they want to put as much breathing room as they can into the first place position.
Of course.
Because then they can start resting guys. They can start resting Larry. Larry's already getting beat up.
Which is going to be a whole thing.
You got to rest him.
Larry gets beat up every year. That's his way.
You got to rest him. You're not resting him because he doesn't. It's like, oh,
well, he sat his first game Saturday.
You're hurt. You need time to recover. Right?
Says the guy bitching and moaning about Kawhi Leonard.
He wasn't hurt.
Sitting back-to-back games coming off a 9-month injury.
He wasn't hurt, and I already told you that you've changed my tune on
Dr. Al.
That I've changed my tune based on your recommendations. I actually started agreeing.
Good. I'm happy that
you know what? Sit the guy.
All that argument.
Sit the guy because you don't want you. They do it in soccer all the time. They sit guys in soccer all the time for Champions League for they sit them in City A so they can play Champions League.
This is the mentality, Al, and this is why we say, you guys on your side of the argument say what they say is we're Canadian, right? We're brainwashed from kids. Yeah. You got to be tough. You got to go in 150% every game, no excuses.
You were the worst at that,
right?
We were the worst at that.
Right, so that's the mentality we have. So when you see basketball players doing it, soccer players, you call them softies, right? Pussies, whatever you want to call them. Listen, nobody's disputing hockey players are the toughest in sports, right? There's no disputing that. It's just in NBA, in soccer, this is what happens.
Yeah, right.
So,
or you're able to do that in these games.
Exactly, and you're able to do that. Who knows? One day we might see it in the NHL, and maybe we'll. You guys want to segue right into the NHL here?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. No problem.
So let's get this out of the way because 1, I'm really happy it's done, and 2, it's over with now. William Nylander, they have finally freed Willie. And you like that one?
Surprisingly,
guys.
I was going to say that.
I beat you to it.
I don't think
it's too easy.
The context doesn't make enough sense.
If you played the Free Willy song, it'd be different in a clip.
Should have lined up the Free Willy song too.
Yeah.
Instead of Celebrate. Well, I played Celebrate for you guys because you guys are excited. You got your sixth best forward back into the lineup.
I'm happy Nylander's on the team this year. Okay, let's get that out of the way. I'm happy he's on the team this year.
Right. Well, of course you are.
Right, he's going to be a great asset. they're doing well without him. So it's just a better player. Everybody, like, the depth becomes ridiculous at this point.
Right, and people obviously know the numbers: 6 years, 6.9
I
average.
don't exactly.
Cap
I
hit.
don't like the amount that they're giving them if they intend to hold on to him. If they intend to hold on to him after this season, it takes up too big of a chunk of the salary cap for them to even contend to sign both Marner and Matthews. And I think that has to be the priority.
Well,
those two guys.
That's why they probably gave him that term. He wanted term, so he knew wherever he was
He
going,
goes, that's
at
it.
least he had term.
And
So,
they
right?
gave him, and they did go up from what they were initially
Right.
offering. Right,
Right.
they wanted somewhere in the middle of fives.
He's making more than guys
6.
like...
They went up to 6.9.
He's making more than guys like McKinnon.
Yeah, but when these guys signed,
Pasternak,
you could
he's
say
making more.
he's making more than a lot of guys. But when these guys signed the contract,
The cap was lower.
the cap was lower, so it's not as big as a percentage.
It's based on the percentage against the cap.
They were
Basic-
just blooming stars at that time.
So
They were blooming
basically,
stars, which
he's
Nylander
making
might be.
he's making less when you compare to what teams' cap are now.
I know, but he only scored 23 goals or something like
Right.
that.
I think the argument.
That's not a lot of goals to get a guy $7 million.
I think the
for
argument
6
is
years.
he's got the potential. You haven't really seen that all-star caliber type of season from him yet, right? What did he finish?
No, you
we
haven't.
went through the numbers: 61 points last year.
Yeah.
You know, let's not forget he's playing with Marner Matthews, one of the best up-and-coming forwards, players all around in the NHL. So these are things that it seems like he paid on potential, and I'm a little bit on your side, Alan, saying that
It's too much, man.
I don't know if it's too much in the sense. I still think that they could
It's fine
figure
if
out.
you're going to trade him.
No, but I still think they could figure out Marner and Matthews with this.
Yeah, but that's
with
it,
this
though,
number.
dude.
No. But
You
that's what I'm going to
gotta
say.
get rid of Gardner.
You're not leaving room, which I've always preached from the beginning. You're not leaving room now for that stud D-man or that help on the second line,
They got their goalie locked up,
your
like you
shut
said.
down D-man. You're not leaving much space for
You
that.
don't have any space for that.
Right.
You got space for
So-
Morgan Riley.
It triggers me to believe that, yeah, this is set up for a trade in the offseason. I don't think they would trade him during the season because this is an all-in. This year is all-in. Dubas is fully all-in this year with this kind of offer, this kind of deal.
Yeah.
I think in the offseason, there might be something cooking. What worries me is, I don't know, and this is Dubas, maybe he's just a great actor, he's just a schmoozer on the cameras. He made it seem like him and, Willie are like best buds. They've been texting, they've been talking the whole time.
I don't think they made it seem like that.
Yeah, he said, "Oh, me, we've been texting the whole time. Yeah, we've been talking with it."
Of course
But I'm
they're gonna
saying,
be
like,
talking.
if you're that, you have that good of a relationship with him. Are you really gonna sign him and then ditch him in the offseason?
It's not about
Right?
ditching him. It's they're not
But
going to
I'm
be
s-
able to keep his contract.
Because I'm saying because
They're
Nylander
not
wants
ditching
to
him.
stay here. I'm saying it. That's
Yeah,
what I
he
mean.
might want to stay here, but
right?
Jay, I'd rather have
Nylander
those
really
other
wants
two
to
guys.
stay here.
I'm sure
Of
they.
course,
I'm
of
sure.
course,
I'm
of
sure
course.
he spoke to them about that. I'm sure he spoke to them. They said, "You're going to trade me. There might be a chance of me being traded."
Yeah, and Dubas is going to say,
Yeah, maybe.
he might get traded.
That's why That's why in the contract was a 10-team no trade clause that he couldn't be traded to.
Yeah.
They put all that
Lockout
stuff in.
protected.
Really?
Yeah,
which is huge,
lockout
too.
protected. Yeah.
Yeah.
They put, really,
I don't know who put it in. Maybe Nylander put it in.
so 10 teams he can't go to.
You can't go.
Yeah,
to it.
that's fine. It's
They
another
list the
20.
teams. Do we know the teams?
No.
No, you won't. You wouldn't know the teams now. Maybe that stuff usually comes out if the trade rumors start swirling.
Yeah.
Then those teams come up.
Because
But,
the media probably knows what's going on with that.
yeah,
Guys in the media know. They have their
But-
insiders. They know what teams there are.
No, they saved it.
absolutely.
But do they
Mark
have-
Savard, guys, the new. I think he's going to put Bobby
There we
McKenzie
go.
and Darren Dreger to bed here.
You know
man.
what? He's a beauty.
Yeah.
I like his
Well,
insight.
he's a beauty, and he's got friends from every
Yeah.
team, every city. He's got friends that are players. He's got friends that are in management.
Yeah. I like his insight based on the fact that he just came out of the league.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's still in tune with the
Right?
league. He's very in tune with the league. He's got a lot
And
of
it's
friends.
good to see a guy
lot of
that
connections.
he had concussions, right?
He had, yeah.
Yeah,
Matt
it's good to
Cook.
see a guy with concussions
Matt Cook
doing
that-
something beauty, right?
Oh, man. Don't get me started on him. But,
No, I'm just saying. That's what I mean. Like, guys can sometimes fall into depression. There's all kinds of things.
Yeah,
that
he
relate
did.
To,
He did.
To head injuries and stuff like that.
He went into a pretty bad little spiral.
Right after his career was over?
Absolutely.
Well, you know what, man? That's got to be tough, eh?
Of course it is.
The fact that, you have a brain injury now, but also that, okay, your career is done. Everything that you've worked for your whole life, you can't do anymore.
Your career is done, and your life might not be the same. Where there's a very good chance your life isn't going to be the same, which is the bigger picture, right? So, anyways, a few things. Can we finally close the book on William Nylander, boys?
Absolutely.
Are we shutting her down?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Thank God.
Another comment from a listener: Leafs
done.
overpaid for Nylander. So, a listener and follower.
What's the give him a show?
Oh, that's Tommy again. Just Tommy.
What's the handle? Say the handle.
The _Tommy. The _Tommy _G.
Okay,
good one.
So yeah, we.
So what else is going on?
He's a nice contributor. He's becoming one of our regulars, eh? I like having regulars. This is fun.
Yeah. What else, guys? Sabres. The streak ended at 10 games.
Sabres look good,
lost to Tampa Bay.
Sabres look good. I just hope it's not fool's gold with the goaltending, right? Because
I don't think they'll keep up that. I don't know if it's fool's gold. I think they might be able to still slip into the 7-8 spot, the wild card spots for sure.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yes, I don't think first place though, Jay. In the sense that they can't keep going on the pace that they're going at.
Well, we said that about Vegas last year. The whole
We did say that
year.
about Vegas last year.
So all the way,
we were right.
all the way
Through
to the Stanley
playoffs,
Cup.
round 1, round 2, round 3.
What do you mean?
We were right because they're not going to win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
We said that they're not going to win the Stanley Cup. No way.
No, we said first. We said they're not even going to be.
They're not going to make the playoffs.
And
They're not going to finish
first
second
half,
last.
yeah, we said they're not going to end up in first.
Right.
No way. They're not going to beat. We're not going to beat this. They're not going to make it to the finals.
Another big story. Tom Wilson back in the headlines, guys. I don't know if you guys have seen the hit.
I think I saw it. It was a hit from behind.
If you guys want to give some input into that.
Well, he got the game, right? He got a game misconduct. Is that what happened?
He got kicked out of the game, but he didn't get suspended or fined.
Listen, he hit the guy from behind. Okay, he did. It's what happened. If he had just he was skating in his own path, which was okay, but you still have to make an effort to get away from the guy that you're going to be hitting, and the effort wasn't there. He was going through him from behind the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, to me, that call is the right call. A suspension, no, but a game, get kicked out of the game, absolutely.
Yeah.
In from behind. That's a dangerous play.
Right.
Remember when that was a big deal in from behind? Everybody, it still is. It just doesn't happen as often anymore.
Right.
You can't hit from behind. People get hurt.
The thing with the hit, Al, is it wasn't
Malicious?
it wasn't your typical hit from behind. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're
It was,
running a
shoulder to
guy.
shoulder.
No, but it was like a clip. It was he clipped him with his shoulder to
His back of the other guy's shoulder.
New Jersey Devils player who his name is escaping my memory right now. But he clipped him with his shoulder, his side of the head kind of thing. I don't know, guys. Like, the way he skated into him, it seemed like he definitely was going with a target on his back.
That suspension definitely didn't change the way he plays.
No, and I don't, absolutely. And that's what I said is, I don't think there was much wrong with the hit. I think he needs to be smarter. Coming off of that situation of a 20-game suspension, he got 14. You got to be just smarter.
He just has to be more careful.
Not even careful, just smarter. You want to lay out a guy, go fucking nuts. But something like that is unnecessary, and he's lucky. It could have been a lot worse. If he got contact full shoulder or elbow to head, he's done for the year. But he got lucky. It was a little clip. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it even being a penalty. I don't even know if it needed to be a match where he's gone for the game. But I'm okay with a penalty on that play. Obviously, it's blindsided.
Yeah.
It's from behind. But he just needs to be smarter.
Yeah,
I'm okay with the rough and tough stuff. You guys know that. But stuff like that, especially coming off the 20-game suspension, I think he just got 14 because he appealed. Still, you gotta be smarter than that, and we see this with Marchand too. The same thing. Guys like that need to play on that edge. We know that. We
Yeah, that's
know that.
fine.
And that's why they're so effective. That's why they're such great players, because they can play on that line. But he got lucky on this one, guys, because if he made more contact with the head,
Oh, he would have
So
been
maybe
done.
It would have been
this is
very
Tom
bad.
Wilson.
Game over.
Maybe this is Tom Wilson being careful.
what? In what sense? In just
Maybe the old Tom Wilson not being careful would have just railed
ran
him
right through him.
on
Yeah.
the neck, whatever. Maybe this
Yeah.
is him being careful.
Maybe.
Because he didn't get suspended for it. A match penalty is a match penalty. What are you going to do? You hit the guy from behind, you deserve it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again,
That's the key, right?
He didn't get anything for it. But what else we should talk about? The Red Hot Leafs still at it and going strong.
So that's another thing with this Nylander thing, right? When they trade
already, we're bringing up
when they
Nylander
trade-
again, man. We just
You're
closed
saying-
the book on it.
No, you're saying you brought up the Leafs again. You're saying how good they're playing. I just want to say that,
Yeah, the Leafs without Nylander, how good they were playing. Yeah.
but that even pushes the fact that they can trade him for something good, maybe in the back,
Right.
and it would make this team that much better than they are right now.
Right. Well, they're better now with him as well.
Now, yes, now they get better with him. But again,
Whoever's coming out of the lineup isn't as good, hasn't been
as
playing
Nylander,
as Nylander.
and it's going to be Levo or Ennis.
Yeah.
That sucks because they're both playing good.
Well, they just put Travis Dermott to the AHL, but it's just a paper move.
Just a paper move. He's still with the club.
Apparently, he's still with the club. So they got to put someone on waivers or trade someone by tomorrow, Monday or Tuesday.
Levo.
So one of those guys will be on waivers.
It's gonna be
They're going to
Levo.
do probably a trade, and Dermott comes back in. 'cause
Unfortunately, I think Ennis brings more to the table than Levo does, based on his
on the position where they have to play a guy.
based on his experience, just his experience.
Experience. Levo's a good scorer too. He's a great player too.
I like
But
Levo.
You
I
could
like
put
Levo.
Ennis more on the fourth line
Yeah,
than Levo, right?
yeah. No, I can. No, I know
You
what
can
you're
get
saying.
something more for Levo that you're going to plop into your fourth line than you would for Ennis anyways.
You're not gonna trade him. They're gonna waive him. Nobody's gonna take him.
I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. Be
Oh,
interesting to
sorry,
see.
guys. I passed out there, fell asleep. All that fourth line Maple Leaf conversation was
Yeah, we need
putting
that.
me to bed a little bit there.
People-
Sorry, guys.
People like to hear.
Oh, that's what they're going to have to
Man,
do.
nah, I love it, guys. Good. That was good. No, as a non-Leaf fan, I stoozed off.
Okay,
a
let's
little
talk
bit
about
there.
Torrey Crew.
What's happening with the
I don't want to
Bruins,
talk
Jay?
about the Bruins. I don't want to talk about the Bruins. They're
What's-
not doing that well. They're
Oh,
injured.
so
We could keep
that's
them
why
on the.
we
Yeah,
can't
we
talk
could keep
about
them on
They're so
the.
jealous,
okay.
Jay.
Yeah, we could keep them on the.
So
the
they get
low
no
burner right
radio
now.
time because they're not doing
They
well.
don't. Yeah,
So you're punishing the
Why?
Bruins?
They went old school hockey last night in Detroit. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Yeah, I
Nice
saw
line
that.
brawl. Tuukka Rask and Jimmy Howard wanted to chuck knuckles, but of course the refs, the buzzkills of the NHL, got in between them. How do you not let two goalies go at it? Like what are you as a referee?
You
What
know what? They might be mandated, Jay.
mandated for what?
It might be a secret mandate.
What are these
that
guys,
the owners
kids?
put
They-
in
what are
saying,
they-
listen,
they're
No,
chaperones?
you can't make people fight in general.
But he's not. They're not making the fight. The two
Or-
goalies
yeah.
wanted to fight.
Yeah.
Let them fucking fight. I don't understand. What's it to them? What's it to those refs
like
that
I-
Jimmy Howard
that's what I'm
and
saying,
Tuukka Rask tussle for
Maybe it's a
5
league
seconds
thing.
and then fall to the ice?
Maybe it's a league thing. Goalies aren't allowed to fight.
It's not a league thing.
I said
pal.
maybe it's a league thing. Jay.
I don't think there's any sort of league. I think it's just, they jumped in. They have to take control. It's goalies. It's fine. That's what people love that. I know you're trying to get some of that stuff out of the game, but once in a while, you got two goalies throwing fists. Everybody loves to see that. I don't know.
Because you don't want to lose your starting goalie.
No, listen. I'm a Bruins
For a
fan,
fight,
and
right?
I don't want to
Imagine,
lose Tuukka Rask.
I was
But
going to say, imagine Tuukka Rask misses 5 games of broken jaw from a punch.
you're absolutely right, T.
Right?
But me also, as the Bruins fan and the hockey fan, I was drooling at the fact that I might see Tuukka Rask and Jimmy Howard fight.
That would have been cool.
Right? So it's both sides, right? But then, yeah, you're right. If they fight
What was
and
it?
Tuukka Rask breaks his
Potvin and
hand...
Osgood that fought?
No, Potvin and Hextall, the greatest, arguably the greatest goalie fight of all time.
Wow, there it again.
Osgood was Osgood and Waugh, which was also... And Vernon.
so I got
think
confused
Vernon
between
and
the
Waugh, too, had a...
So I'm just nailing goalies that fight, but just not in the right fights.
Not in the right fights. Anything else from the NHL boys?
Let's talk about the Canadians.
Okay.
Oh, well, that's talking about buzzkills.
Sorry, Buzz Killington here for your.
What do you
Red
want to
Leaf
talk
Sports
about the
podcast.
Canadians?
They've lost.
Weber came back, man.
They lost 4 of their
Yeah,
last 5.
you know what? I respect
losing
Shea
now.
Weber, so I'll give him some love.
I like Weber.
I like
I've always
Weber
liked
too.
Weber, so I'll give him some love. Good to see him back, healthy.
I want to see Weber do good as a Canadian.
Pop 2 goals in Saturday night.
That's what I mean. I wanted to see him do good.
Yeah, it is good to see him back. As much as, obviously I dislike the Canadians, I've always had a lot of respect and love for him. So it's good to see him back. But,
He's that's a big
Want to
hole
see him do good, the
that you're
Canadians still
filling
do
with
bad.
him.
Right.
They're losing right now to San Jose.
Perfect.
San Jose
Always
had to
right.
win this game.
What is it? A shutout? For sure it is.
3-1. No,
Okay.
San Jose had to win this game. They've been
Oh, yeah,
slumping
actually.
bad.
And,
Slumping,
speaking
right?
of San
It's
Jose,
segue.
we almost forgot.
We had a San Jose segue?
No, it
That's what it
slipped
is
my
now.
mind. The Carlson return to Ottawa was this
That was
past
so
weekend.
shit. It wasn't even good. Why was the game on at 1 o'clock?
1 o'clock in the afternoon, a good old matinee in Ottawa.
Like, come on.
Put the
man.
game on Saturday night with the other big boys.
That's it.
Like, it's not hard enough to go to a game in Ottawa in Canada.
What? Yeah.
They
You
made
gotta
it
make it a
Saturday
1
afternoon.
o'clock game.
With the
Saturday afternoon.
franchise
People
player coming
people
back.
are grocery shopping. That's grocery shopping.
Franchise
Prime time.
players coming back, and it's Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, I mean, you got the
Come
whole the usual
Wah,
routine,
wah.
the tribute video, the first time out.
It was good.
The
Deserves
players
it.
made him go
See,
out for a
a
lap
guy like
and
that
pregame.
deserves a tribute
Yes,
video.
yes.
You know,
No
okay.
kidding,
So this is another thing that has just been bothering me. All these tribute videos for people coming back. Did Tyler Bozak need a tribute video?
Was it a whole video? I think it
Yeah,
was just a
man.
little.
Yeah, that's a little overboard.
JVR, like
I
you
think if
don't
you're-
need to do
if-
that.
His was more because of the
Longevity.
length of time
Longevity.
he played.
Yeah,
I
of course.
I get it. But
But I agree with you, Al.
acknowledge him.
if you're-
Acknowledge him. Have him start, and then they say his name at the beginning. He gets a standing O,
Right.
unrehearsed.
Right,
You
right,
don't
right.
need to put it up on a board. Do a video montage
They-
of no way they didn't win anything.
They just
They didn't
do,
win anything.
They
You
just
win
do a little
Stanley Cup,
welcome back.
If you win a
I
Stanley
think
Cup,
that's
you
what
do a
he-
welcome
yeah.
back for everybody. And the last pictures of him lifting the Stanley
Yeah,
Cup.
well, that's good. They're gonna do one of those regardless,
Right?
yes.
But not if you did it with what? You were here for a long time.
Yeah,
Good job.
if you go into the whole video spiel, that's unnecessary. I think you put up a nice graphic on the jumbotron.
That's what they do.
Right? You say
they
the
got a
announcer comes
timeout,
out, "Welcome
TV
back."
timeout, anyways. People are just standing there,
Right.
right?
Yeah. So I agree. I think that it's getting a little too overboard with like second,
Yeah.
third line guys that haven't won anything with the team, and that happens. So
That was a false start.
good thing. Oh, game of the night here.
That was a false
big
start.
touchdown by
Watch
San
this- watch the
Diego.
replay.
Pittsburgh's currently up 13-6 with 1 minute left
Watch the
in the
replay.
first
Watch,
quarter.
watch.
And Al is all upset about his
I am
Steelers.
upset.
Oh, that's false start on Pittsburgh.
It was an offside on Pittsburgh. Okay,
Yeah.
I only saw the Chargers guy go
Free play.
Free play, and they
free
did.
play, and they bombed it. Okay, good touchdown.
All right, boys. Well, since we're talking about the game of the night, the football game
gonna do
here
a
in
recap?
Pittsburgh, let's do our NFL Week 13 rundown. Lots.
So we're done with the NHL.
Did you have anything else in the NHL?
Ba-da-da-da.
Did you have
We're
anything else?
done with the NHL.
Is that was it? That was your last thing for the
That
NHL?
is the
Okay.
closing of the NHL portion of the
Oh,
starting
sorry.
five.
Last thing, they did that awesome charity thing for Hockey Fights Cancer.
Yes.
Guys, when they wore the blue blazers,
Very
old
cool.
school blue blazers at CBC, we got to give a shout out to
Old
that.
school
That was
blue-
awesome.
The old
Raised a
school
lot
blue
of money.
blazers at CBC should not be old school. That's what they should wear.
Yeah, I think maybe a modern touch to
Everybody,
them.
uniform?
Yeah, throw a modern touch to
Yeah,
it.
they're
How
You
beauty
want
is
them
that?
to wear a
Bring
uniform?
back a uniform.
awesome blazers.
Oh, come on. That's
Just the
so
blazer.
cool.
You can wear whatever
Don't you
shirt
remember
and
the
tie
guys
you
who-
want
Don't you
underneath.
remember the TSN guys wearing those TSN
The
blazers?
TSN ones. Yeah.
Think about how cool
Yeah,
but now-
a uniform,
But
a
now
suit uniform
those
is.
sponsors,
amazing.
the
Yeah,
sponsors,
the sponsors
pay a lot
big money for those
to have
suits.
those
so-
suits. Those
So
guys wear
make-
those suits.
Get one sponsor that'll pay the same amount
No.
and make a one
No,
suit that
because
does it.
I've seen things that these guys wear that I went on and bought because they're wearing
Yeah.
it.
They got Tom's Place,
Nick Kiprios.
Zenia,
That was a false start,
right?
by the way.
a lot
just
of
to
those
bring it up.
places. Okay,
All
NFL
right.
Week 13
Well, yeah.
rundown, boys. Where do you want to start off the Thursday nighter?
Well, let's start off with the breaking news of the day. Mike McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy, breaking news. Good one, Al. Yeah,
Breaking news. Let's start there because
saw that one coming from a mile away.
Well, Green Bay
Losing to Arizona.
losing to Arizona Cardinals at home at Lambeau Field.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't do that,
No,
Mike.
you're done. You're done.
You
That's a
can't do
packer
that.
in. That's
He's
a pack
been-
it in.
He's been a coach in Green Bay for 13 years.
Long time, yeah.
13 years he's been a coach at Green Bay. He sometimes you just, again, it's a cliche, but sometimes the room just stopped listening to you after you've been there for too long.
13 years.
They need something fresh. And it seems like that this might be the case. Fresh play calls.
Yeah.
Fresh play calls
there's
for
reports.
Rogers. What's going to be cool to see is Rogers doing somebody else's playbook now.
There's reports out
Really cool.
over the last little while that they've had a bit of a power struggle. McCarthy and Rogers
Well, there you go.
kind of basically the report was that they were trying to one up each other with trying to call the plays. Because normally I believe it was Rogers that he used to let call the plays. And then
now he's
McCarthy
calling the
took
plays.
it back.
So
there was a little power struggle going on there.
You need a guy in there that's going to be good with Rogers. Call the plays that Rogers wants. He's one of the best quarterbacks of all time. Let him do what he wants. You need a coach to complement that. Maybe bring some new strategies in. Mike McCarthy's only been there with Rogers. Has only been there with Mike McCarthy, no? Or maybe a little bit with the guy before. Who's the guy before? I don't even know.
I don't know. But regardless, you're not winning the battle against Aaron Rodgers. Whatever coach you are.
That's a good
minus
way to put it.
maybe
That's a good way to put it.
Belichick.
Absolutely.
You're not winning that battle, so obviously it was his time to go. So and like I said, saw that coming from a mile away. But
well, after you lose to the Arizona Cardinals at home,
yep, absolutely.
he almost got fired last week. I guess they gave him the benefit of the doubt that they still might make the playoffs. That's why they kept him on for another week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they still might make the playoffs. They make the playoffs. Why do we gotta fire this guy during the season? Let him do the playoffs. But now, after this, chances are they're not making the playoffs anymore. So why wait at this point?
Right.
Fire the guy, start looking for a new guy, put whoever is in for
offense coordinator.
Offensive
Yeah.
offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
A little too much time on Mike McCarthy. Let's move
It's
on.
a big deal, man. It's 13 years, right?
Cowboys, guys.
How about them Cowboys? Lots of listener feedback from that. How about
I've been avoiding trying to give them support and give them praise, but
That's defense.
now it's
That's
the
what
time. You
defense
have to.
does.
You have to praise this team now, guys. It's a hell of a run. they're on.
Celebrate Dallas Cowboys. Tommy G. How about them Cowboys? Like these notorious Cowboy fans for sure. All the Cowboy fans are back.
They're all coming out.
They've been playing
hi
well.
Guys. You guys been hiding for the last 10 weeks?
Wow, they've all been saying for the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season that the team is horrible, the team is a
Dak
joke.
Prescott's the worst.
And then
Get
that's
rid
funny
of
how
him,
it
new
changes.
quarterback.
Right? Well,
Fire Garrett.
It's the defense. Defensive coordinator, my boy, not related, Rod Marinelli, doing a hell of a job there.
No relation.
No relation. He's got that defense playing. When you do that to the New Orleans Saints offense, when you do that to Drew Brees,
Insane.
especially in the year that he's been having and that team has been having,
they haven't been shut out in the first half.
It's
40
something
games,
great to
crazy
see,
like
and
that.
I wasn't a fan of it because it was a boring as shit game. But listen, we got to start giving love to the Cowboys, and that's they deserve it at this point. So that was the Thursday nighter. Some injuries and some big stories going on this weekend, guys. Greg Olsen, I'll lead off with. I think he re-injured his knee. I think it was knee or his Achilles, and he looks like he's done for the year. Kareem Hunt is. You guys heard the story of Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, we got to get into Kareem Hunt. Let's get into that now.
So, the video came out. I believe it was a couple of days ago, and obviously something.
The first time the NFL saw it was on TMZ.
Yeah,
which
it was
is
heard
hilarious.
by
I don't believe that. I don't buy
TMZ
that.
Sports. It's a Ray Rice situation all over again, where the NFL claims, and the team itself too, guys, not just the NFL.
They investigated
the
it.
KC Chiefs both said that that was the first time they seen the video, and I don't want to talk too much about it because it's really graphic. It's disgusting and horrible to see what went on.
He pushes a girl. You could talk about it.
He pushed a girl and
like
kicked her when she was down a little bit later. Not allegedly, it was there. It was visually there. It's a frustrating thing because these guys take money out of it, take fame out of it.
Just don't do anything stupid.
Yeah, people bring up the whole, what are you doing? You're famous. You're an NFL superstar. You have so much money. Why are you doing it? You shouldn't be doing that shit, period.
You shouldn't be doing that if you're just a regular person.
So to Add all that stuff on top of it.
You have so much more to lose.
Right, and but it's irrelevant at the end of the day.
Come on, man. And you see his buddies are like, no, don't do this. They're trying to stop him.
Yeah, well, of course they're going to try to stop
man,
him.
no, you're going to ruin everything. We're having so much fun.
Yeah.
The point
no, we
is...
can't have fun
No, we can't have fun anymore.
What if they weren't there? Someone brought this up. What if those buddies of his weren't there to hold him back?
Yeah, it would have been a lot worse.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's already as bad as it is.
He's being charged, right?
I don't know if she's pressing charges. I don't know any of that. All I know, it happened back in the spring or in the winter.
It's a scuffle between
the two
sexes. That's why it's so...
Al, it happened in the winter. And
what if it was two guys? It would be totally different, right?
Obviously,
him and two guys, yes.
Obviously.
Very different.
Okay.
You're not going to get suspended and kicked out of a league for fighting a guy.
If he was fighting some guy...
I don't know what my point was but...
Yeah, I don't know where you were going with it.
The point was, if he was fighting some guy, he probably would have got fined by his team. Or something like that.
He probably wouldn't even got a thing.
Probably not.
If there was no charges or arrest. If there's an arrest, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Right, we see that all the time. But
so he'll get suspended. He got released from the team.
He got released right away.
Yeah,
by the
but
Chiefs.
is anybody going to pick him up?
I don't know. I was thinking that because the NFL, maybe. Look what
in today's world,
Washington picked up that guy from
Reuben Foster.
Domestic abuse.
You're right, who just got accused and I believe charged.
And they picked him up like nothing.
They picked him up a couple days later.
This is different. Videos make it different.
Right. Well, we raised
because everybody saw what happened. You can't look at that guy the same way after that.
No,
you can't.
It's different than just. It's bad to say because it's exactly the same thing. It should be exactly the same thing, but having a video there makes it worse.
Of course.
Even though it's not worse, it's the same.
Well, you're visualizing. You know exactly what happened.
Yes.
There's no
right. So that's why
There's no
you don't think
area.
if there was a video of this other guy, you'll think.
Absolutely, but
right,
Reuben Foster. This is a third, fourth case of this. Like. For Washington to do what they did, and then they came out and said, "Oh, it's trying to explain that it's just a roster move. It's something they just put him on the roster that he doesn't intend to play at all this year.
Yeah,
they're going to investigate into them. Save the horse shit. Like you're picking up a guy 2 days after he's being charged and accused of something.
Yeah, why are you picking up a guy just to start an investigation?
But Washington the Redskins are notorious for moves like this. I don't have a list in front of me, but I was watching the other day, and there's a bunch of questionable moves that they've made. Their owner, Dan Snyder.
He's the worst owner in sports.
Yeah, he gets ripped on all the time.
Doesn't give a shit.
Not surprising.
Hey, why don't you change the name of your racist name of your team?
No.
Why don't you change that? No.
Won't do it.
We're going to keep it super racist for everybody.
Yeah. But
why?
Okay, let's
just change it. Change it to the Washington Reds. Washington. What would you change it to?
Well, you can just change. You don't even have to
shirts,
keep it.
The Washington shirts.
you can definitely
the
situation.
The Washington Rough
compromise.
Riders.
There's a bunch of different names they could use.
But
let's
cool
move
if
on
an
NFL team use the name Rough Riders.
The Rough Riders is a great.
Isn't that a cool name?
It is a great name. But okay.
The Redmen.
Let's move on from the Kareem Hunt situation, guys. That's
sucks.
Something that's going to keep going on. And we'll see. We'll see if there's a team that does have the balls.
Especially it sucks because that team's just ticking along, eh? Mahomes is just ticking along.
Yeah, I don't think the Chiefs are as great of a stud that he is. Yeah, and the Chiefs showed today. Although Oakland brought it pretty fucking close
that was the defense.
today, guys.
So that's the Kansas City defense.
Right.
That's the difference,
letting
right?
the Raiders stay involved.
They only won by a touchdown.
Right. And speaking of the Chiefs, guys, Patrick Mahomes, my boy.
Here we go.
As you all know.
Here we go.
Fastest quarterback.
Do you sleep with a Patrick Mahomes picture when you go to sleep?
No, just the blanket. Just the blanket.
Just the blanket? Not pajamas yet.
Not pajamas yet, no. Patrick Mahomes, fastest to 40 touchdowns.
Yep.
In history.
He's playing well.
So put that in your pipe and smoke it out.
Jay,
that's a real deal stat.
Okay,
that's a real deal stat.
It is, but it's a different game now, man.
Robert Griffin III wasn't pulling that stat out of his ass.
It's a different game. It's a different game now.
Absolutely, it's a different game.
The game's more passing than ever before in the history of passing. More yards, more offensive yards than ever before. They're protecting the quarterback more. They're protecting the wide receivers more.
You can't take, but you still can't take.
You can't take that stat
the
away
talent
from him.
No. The stat itself, but the talent that you see when you watch him play every weekend. You can't take that away from him. So I wanted to bring that up.
It took me a couple weeks to get on your Mahomes train, but I'm on it.
Yeah, well, now we're in week 13.
I'm on it.
It's the season.
I like the way he plays with Kelsey. Kelsey's a beauty.
Exactly. So, any other big games, guys? Any other big stories from this past week? Not much. I mean, there was kind of
NFC North.
That
Every
Jacksonville
team lost in the NFC North.
Yeah, and Jacksonville Indy game was a snooze fest.
It's Al's game right there.
Yeah,
Defensive battle.
That's a
I
game that Al
I was telling
would
these
have
guys
loved
before.
to sit and watch. A nice 6-0 NFL football game.
I said I'm going to bring up that I wish that game I wasn't on TV today. I wish it was on TV. I would have liked that defensive battle. I like games like that.
A 6-0 NFL game. You would enjoy sitting through all.
That's good. That's good.
Four quarters of that.
I used to do it a lot when the Steelers have a better defense. Maybe that's why I got a better appreciation.
Maybe you appreciate the
steel curtain.
Yeah, I can see it, but
right, that's
kind of
why maybe
6-0 game never seems appealing to me, not especially in today's NFL.
And it came as a surprise though. Indy was doing very well.
Yeah, it came as a huge surprise.
They haven't
got
sacked in like 8 straight games. There was no sacks. They got sacked 3 times today.
Luck has been rolling. He's been on fire.
Luck's an elite quarterback.
And Jacksonville's D has been atrocious all year. They came out of nowhere today and really stepped up.
That's 2 defenses that came out of nowhere. Dallas D came out of nowhere against New Orleans, and Jacksonville against Indy.
Yep.
Two big defensive games from those 2 teams.
Let's before we wrap up NFL.
Giants beat Chicago.
The Giants, big upset there, Al. Good point.
What the hell was that about?
That was a big upset.
That shouldn't happen.
But the suddenly new hottest team in the NFL, guys, we've been giving them some love the last few podcasts. The Houston Texans beat the Cleveland Browns today, guys.
W after W.
And they are now on what? 9-game winning streak? 9-game winning streak, guys. Hottest team, longest streak in the NFL right now. Yeah.
Now they're the hottest team. Now we can stop talking about New Orleans being the hottest team because they lost.
Right, and
so now power rankings wise.
Well, New Orleans will.
Well, I don't know if you still, but I'm saying streak wise.
Okay, streak wise.
Listen,
Depending
Houston
on the category you guys want to use.
Lamar Miller is had a resurgence. He's been playing very well.
The whole offense. It took him a couple games to get into it.
But this is an offense that lost Will Fuller too, right? So we're looking at that as it's a crazy situation. You lose a great deep threat like him, and you still keep rolling the way they are.
Guy, Jay.
No, I'm not saying he's a superstar. I'm just saying if you lose,
there's another offensive target.
He's a great. Listen, to have alongside Hopkins. He's a great long threat, and the offense didn't miss a beat at all.
Speaking of injuries, AJ Green got hurt this week.
AJ Green carted off. There was a few, as I mentioned, Greg Olsen. There's been a few tough injuries, and
a couple of guys in the Bengals D. I was watching that game. Guys in the Bengals D.
So, anything else, boys, for NFL? Before we move on to the next topic,
game of the night's almost heading into halftime now.
Yep,
16-7 for the Steelers. 7 points from San Diego's false start touchdown.
All right, let it go, Al.
It was.
Okay, let's jump into the world of soccer. Recap of the world of soccer. We did have some Champions League last week.
We did have some Champions League. Some teams clinched.
Yeah, so Al, you want to give us kind of the groups that
the groups
clinched?
That are done clinched. Atletico is in, and Borussia Dortmund is in.
Okay.
In Group A, they're locked in to the next round. Barcelona locked into the next round. There's going to be a fight between Tottenham and FC. I was going to say FC International because I'm reading it. There's going to be a fight between Tottenham and Inter for that second spot in that group.
Yep.
Group C's wide open. Liverpool, PSG, and Napoli can all be. 2 of those teams are going to be in, and one's going to be out. Still to be decided the next game. We're gonna look at that more deeply next podcast.
Mm-hmm.
FC Porto locked in along with FC Schalke. Those 2 are in. Galatasaray and Lokomotiv Moscow both out. Bayern's in with Ajax, which not a big surprise in Group E. And Man City locked in Group F. That's the only team there. The second spot's still up for grabs. And then you got Roma locked in with Real Madrid, Group G. They're going through.
Yeah, their Roma squeaked through because of that. Who lost their?
Who lost there? Let me get the group details, Jay.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's not that important. Anyways, so there's Champions
Roma's
League.
in. That's important.
Yeah,
Roma's in.
that's what I'm
good.
saying. They squeaked in
Serie A
even,
team. That's nice.
even after losing. So Champions League doesn't. They'll play their final round robin game in 2 weeks. December 11th, I believe. Games kick off. That'll be the last before the
next round. Before the
next round.
the
32.
aggregate round.
Yeah.
Beauty. I love the aggregate
32.
rounds. They're so nice.
Some domestic stuff.
Hold on, I'd be remiss.
Yeah, sorry.
Juventus is through,
Oh,
along
you
with
didn't
Man
mention
U
that?
and Group H.
Right, and then the
Group
next
H
game
is
is going to
settled.
decide who's coming out on
Top
top of
spot
that
in there.
group.
So the Champions League in full gear right now.
Yep, and domestically, Serie A, there was Juventus big win 3-0, 3-0
Against Fiorentina, I guess I don't know. Fiorentina really hates Juve. When they come into Florence, it's always a hate fest for the Fiorentina fans.
What do you mean by
that? So it's always they hate them a lot. Fiorentina is Juve is their number one hatred.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. So it was a big game for them, but Juve is Juve. They kind of, and Ronaldo with his 10th goal now ties the top of the league.
Fastest, what is it, by a Juventus player?
Fastest to reach 10.
10?
Yeah, it is.
In 14 games. So no surprise
No
there.
surprise
I mean,
there.
it's
That's
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Ronaldo being Ronaldo.
Anything else from domestic before I move on?
Really domestic, we can go MLS, the MLS Cup.
Actually, yeah, give some love to the MLS Cup.
MLS Cup settled.
What's happening
now.
with that?
The finals are settled. It's
This
Portland,
Saturday.
Portland against Atlanta.
Atlanta, the best team in the league this year.
Toronto didn't make the playoffs.
Great story. They're almost they almost have that Toronto.
That's
type
what I know
of,
for sure. Toronto didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, but they had that this year. They had that Toronto TFC feel that they had last year.
Who did now?
Atlanta this year.
Yeah.
Where they're just nothing is going wrong. They're just on fire, hottest team in the league, and
You know what? The MLS is growing the way it should be growing. There's a lot of Europeans coming over at the twilight of their career.
Yep.
It's nice to see them. Wayne Rooney.
Yeah, they still have some juice left in the tank,
Capitals
which
game
is
the other
good.
night.
His first hockey game.
Yeah,
Really cool. Got to meet Ovechkin. It was cool.
Yeah,
was
the
cool to
guys
see.
coming still have some, they have some gas left in the tank where they have a little bit left
Ibrahimovic
to
is going to
play.
get signed in the City in January.
Yeah, he's going back to.
He's gonna go to Milan.
Yeah, so
That's a Ronaldo move by Milan to match something like that.
Yeah,
In terms of
try and
marketing.
A marquee player.
Yes, yeah. That's
Could
a
be.
Ronaldo move. Maybe not at the talent level, but in
No,
terms
definitely
of
not.
popularity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see the Milan. Do they really need that? I mean, it's Milan. They're one of the world.
Oh, they're bringing back a
famous
guy that
teams.
What
was-
Milan needs is wins. That's it. Right
Yeah,
now.
I think
Let's
they're
go.
putting
He was-
too much
They beat
focus.
Parma this week.
He was super popular with the fans.
Oh no, on
That's
a
what I'm
marketing
saying.
level, absolutely. But
That's
I
what
think
I'm saying.
they need to worry about their youth and bringing up a competitive team
Right.
to compete with the.
I mean, for half a year, that's a good move for them. If he's going to come play.
It could be definitely. And listen, if he could still play, then yeah, it should definitely be a good move. Speaking of international, the
FC International.
Europe, the UEFA Euro 2020 qualifying groups were done today. And
Let's look at Italy's group.
Italy's group, they did get a little lucky here, guys. I mean, I don't know if I could say lucky because Italy
They
has
still have
not
to win
looked
the
good.
games, man.
Yeah, and
they're
they have not
not
looked
a good team.
They have they're in Group J.
They're still learning as a unit, young unit right now. It's not going to be easy for Mancini to get these guys over the
Not
hill.
at all. They haven't
Right?
shown
If-
any spurts of it.
I think a big stepping stone would be to qualify for the Euro. I think that's a big landmark that
Yeah.
they can achieve. That's something that they can work to. Before it was a given. Now it's not a given.
Well,
No,
they got to
it's
get
not,
back to
right?
qualifying for major tournaments.
Right.
Exactly.
Right?
So in their group, guys, Group J, it's Italy, Bosnia Herzegovina, Finland, Greece, Armenia, and Liechtenstein.
I'm worried about all of those teams.
Yeah, I don't.
I seriously am.
Yeah, I mean, you're right,
can't
Al.
score.
Right.
I probably have the old school Italian national team mentality. You're
can't
right. You
score.
can't. There's no easy game for this national team anymore.
They gotta win. It doesn't
And
matter.
They need to come out on top on that group.
Top two go through. Top two go through.
Yeah. So that's there's some other big groups, guys. I was looking through everything. It's pretty much. I mean, you have your big juggernauts. England is heading Group A and Czech Republic. Group B, you got Portugal, Serbia, Ukraine. Group C, Netherlands and Germany. Two pretty good teams there. group.
But these are the teams that they want to go through, and
Right,
if they
and
win,
that's what I'm saying. Every
they're going to
group
go
has-
through, right? Those are the two teams
Yeah.
that they put in the group that they want to go through. I don't know if it was at random, but like, what is random?
Of course,
anymore?
it's random. Yeah, it's the balls.
What is random anymore, Jay?
Okay.
They set it up so they want.
You
I guess,
think
but
it's
you know what?
fixed.
It is weighted.
It's
though.
soccer.
It is
so I
weighted.
wouldn't be surprised if it's fixed. But yeah,
Right,
and the rest
exactly.
of the groups
That's what I'm
need to
saying,
go through
exactly.
it. Yeah, you're right. So I just wanted to mention the Euro 2020 qualifiers released today, and the schedule should be coming out if it's not out this evening for all the matches. So anything else, guys, for the world of soccer? Are we good to move on to the fifth and final topic of the starting five? And boys, that hot stove is heating up in the MLB offseason.
It really is, you know.
It's hot.
The rumors have been twirling since the end of the World Series, but something finally went down, and it was between the Mets and the Mariners. And the Mariners already, the reports did come out that they said basically everyone is available on that team, and they weren't kidding. They traded Robinson Cano and their superstar closer
Crazy.
Diaz for I don't know. I guess it's a kind of a prospects, some young guys, and Jay Bruce. So
I don't think they got enough for it. You know
well,
what? You know
yeah,
what the
I
trade
think it's a
was?
salary dump on
That's what it
Cano
was.
for sure.
Oh,
Absolutely.
big time.
And
So the Mets are picking up half his contract.
right.
I think.
And the Mets said, if we're going to take this money, obviously give us your
They wanted
best
Diaz.
closer. Yeah.
What is it? Edwin Diaz? I can't. I don't know why I'm forgetting. his
Edwin
first name,
Diaz, yeah,
right
man.
name. Hell of a. But again, it's a closer, so closers are kind of up and down breeds, right? You can't guarantee unless you have your
Only
big,
the great closers.
Right, only the great are
Only the
consistent all the way
great
through.
Closers were
So-
consistent their whole career. These closers, yeah, Diaz had an amazing, best closer in the game last year.
Right.
But is he going to match that?
Yeah,
I don't-
exactly.
I
But
don't
you're getting
know.
Robinson Cano. Mets, it's an odd trade because the Mets, seem to be. Listen, they've had a bad
The Mets want to trade Syndergaard now. Like,
few years, and that was my next thing. Yeah, there's reports of Syndergaard being on the block. So
but
it's
does
a
that
little
make
bit
sense?
of an odd
They're
thing.
picking up Cano to
Yeah.
improve their team. They're picking up Diaz to improve their team, and they want to get rid of their best pitcher.
Yeah.
Second best pitcher.
Yeah,
Well,
it's-
now they got to fill, with that pitcher, they got to fill some other holes.
yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
but
that's
they're
what
creating
they're.
a hole by getting rid of this pitcher.
No,
I
guess.
think is Syndergaard not good? Is that
Well, he's
Are
had a
you-
lot of injury history, Al. He's had injuries every single year. Every single year he's had something going on. So who knows? They could be kind of fed up with that. And maybe they're just testing to see what they can get for him. You never know, right? So that's something to keep an eye on.
Cano goes back to New York, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, he's back now in New York, but in a Mets uniform.
Back in the New York groove.
There's a lot of rumors still twirling around between Harper and Machado. Some reports coming out that the Philadelphia Phillies are going to spend stupid money. I think Alex Anthopoulos even mentioned it when he was talking about the
What are they
Donaldson
gonna get?
signing. They're talking about for sure one of the two, Bryce Harper or Machado. Like
So
they're
for
going
sure.
all in on one of those two.
You
There
think
was a
they're gonna
report
get
that they
both?
might go after both, which seems absolutely
Get both and trade for
ridiculous.
Trout.
Trout reports going to Philly.
Well,
There's
that's
a
only
lot
because
of
he's a
stuff
Philly guy.
twirling around. Yeah,
He's from Jersey. It's right
in
there.
the
He's a
Phillies
Philly fan.
organization. But yeah, I mean, it seemed like the dominoes started with the Donaldson signing last week, and I think we're going to see a lot of very entertaining. I think we knew it regardless because the free agent list this year was amazing, was stacked. So we already knew it was going to be this kind of offseason, but now with trades like this going on, we're in for a pretty entertaining offseason for the
I think
MLB.
so. This was supposed to be the most entertaining offseason. 5 years ago, everybody was saying,
Everybody's been talking about
wait
this.
till the
Yeah,
offseason
the
between
free
18
agent
and
class
19.
of
It's
20.
going to be crazy.
Wait till a couple weeks after the holidays, and things usually start
Yeah,
to
the
pick up.
GM meetings, I think, is there's a GM meeting coming up in the winter, so that's usually when things really start getting rolling. But okay, boys, I think that does it up for the starting five this week. You
We
guys
tied
got
it with a
anything
nice
else?
bow there with the MLB.
Yeah.
Tied the
Just a
starting
little-
five with a nice Christmas bow.
A little
It's
guy.
Christmas time.
Right, that's good.
All right,
I'm
so
excited.
let's take a quick 10-second break, and we got a lot of stuff coming up in the second half. As I mentioned, our usual NFL picks, weekly picks against the spread.
Boom.
And tonight we got a great special guest interview with assistant coach of the New England Black Wolves, Clem D'Orazio, friend of the show. We're going to sit and talk with him about the world of
world of lacrosse
and the National Lacrosse League and everything else. So stay tuned.
Our national sport? Oh, let you hang there for a second. We'll get to that.
Yeah,
we'll get to that.
Good hanger, Al. All right, we'll catch you guys in the second half. You're listening to the Red Leaf Sports Podcast. All right, welcome back to the second half of the Red Leaf Sports Podcast.
Seg 2.
With your boys, Jay, Al, and Anth. And we're going to jump right into the usual segment. Our NFL Weekly Picks Against the Spread, brought to you by Cellular Solution.
Our NFL Weekly Picks are brought to you by Cellular Solution. Cellular Solution is your one-stop Bell Mobility dealer for all your corporate business solutions. Their team of dedicated specialists manage your day-to-day mobile solutions. Contact Tom Gostich by phone at 905-264-2228 or by email at tom@cellularsolution.ca. Give your business the solution it deserves on Canada's fastest LTE network. Contact Tom Gostich by phone again at 905-264-2228 or by email at tom@cellularsolution.ca. With Tom and Cellular Solution, you're never without a solution.
Okay, so
Cellular Solution.
Seems like Big J is hanging around here, Al. I'm
You're
making
definitely
a little
more.
bit
You're
of ground.
definitely more than hanging.
Yeah,
around.
I
Stop
made some
selling-
ground
you're
over the
making
last
up some
couple of
ground.
weeks. I currently now, as we stand, 17 and 18. You're 18 and 17, and we'll go through quickly our
Live.
week.
That's live.
That's
Jay.
a live
There's two
record.
games. There's 2 games still to be played for this
Still
week.
going on right here.
So we picked New Orleans at -7.5. We got that wrong.
Yeah.
And we picked Houston at -4.5. We got that wrong.
Yep. Those were our two that we.
No,
No. We got that right.
right.
Houston, we got right.
Yeah, we got that right because we're smart.
So we went 1 and
Yeah,
1
for that one.
together.
Then I picked Minnesota, and I believe you picked.
Yeah, it was
New
Minnesota against New England. I took New England.
I took Minnesota +6.
Yep.
I was definitely wrong on that, so you got that. That's why we're 17 and 18 right now. Pittsburgh going on. I had them at -3.5. I'm looking okay now, but the game's
Yeah,
not over
games
yet.
at the half, game of the
That's our game
night,
of the night.
and I have LA Chargers.
And you have the Chargers, and then tomorrow I got Washington at +6.5. You have Philly.
Philly. Okay, perfect. So that brings us
So,
to
yeah.
the 18, 17, and 17
We're gonna be
18
close, man.
record.
It's tight.
Coming down to the wire, about 4 weeks left in the season. So let's tee up the games this week. First off, we have the Thursday Nighter, which seems like the Thursday Nighters are going backwards. They had some awesome matches to start the season, but got some duds here. And
Yeah,
this one has all makings of a
Jacksonville
dud.
versus Tennessee. Wah, wah.
What's the spread on this one?
Let me
Al?
get the lines up because the lines weren't on our normal site. On the score, they're not up yet.
They
So
weren't
we got to
updated
go
yet?
to the good old-fashioned internet for the early lines. And Jacksonville is, Tennessee's favorite by -4.5.
Okay, and Tennessee's
Tennessee's
at
favorite Tennessee's at home, favored by 4.5 against Jacksonville. The over-under's so low. We're not doing over-under, but who do you got in that game, Jake?
home. You want me to lead off, Al? Because
What do you want,
last
Jake?
week
What do
you
you
were
want?
bitching and complaining. That I was
Yeah,
picking
because you were
first,
far
so-
apart now. Now I want you to start.
You want me to start?
You
Okay.
start for 3, and I'll start
So
for
it's
the other two.
Jacksonville at Tennessee. Tennessee's favorite -4.5.
Tennessee's favorite -4.5. Who do you have in that
I'm
game?
gonna take Tennessee.
Perfect, because I want Jacksonville.
Perfect.
Jacksonville coming
On
on
the road.
Beautiful
Huge
defensive
Yeah.
game.
How's the
I think
game?
they build on that. Tennessee's not that
Okay.
good. They're not 4.5 good. Maybe they win by 3.
Yeah, it is a little high, but I'm gonna go with the home team on that one. So that's a Thursday nighter. The 1:00 marquee matchup, divisional matchup: the Indianapolis Colts at the red hot Houston Texans. And what line do we got on that one, Al?
Oddly enough, the Texans are favored by, again, 4.5.
4.5.
I guess I'll make the pick on this one.
You can go first on
Yeah,
this
I want
one.
Indy.
Go
I
ahead.
want Indy on this one. The underdog, they're 4.5. They want to bounce back from the game against Jacksonville. I think they will bounce back from that. They've been going so consistent until they hit Jacksonville last week. They're gonna use that loss and build on, I don't know, trying to change their Andrew Luck, if you know what I mean.
Oh, that was a cheesy one. Man.
Yeah,
that's what I bring to the
That was a
table.
bad
You know
one.
what I bring to the table?
Cheesy.
Stuff like that I bring to the table.
Nah, that was good.
So
That was
yeah,
good.
I'm gonna go with Indy at plus
I'm
4.5.
gonna take the Colts on the road. I'm gonna take. I'll take the home team again. I'll take the Texans minus 4.5. Hottest team in the league right now. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that to the bank.
Yeah, you're not gonna take it. To the
4 o'clock marquee matchup.
What do we got?
This is gonna be, I think, the best one on the sked. Dallas at the Philadelphia Eagles. A rematch from a few weeks ago where the Cowboys
That's
seem
a
to
good
have
one.
gotten new life starting from that game. And upset
Philly has
Philly.
not really done much.
Well, they won last week, but they've been stumbling along. They're at home. They obviously have the big Monday nighter coming up this
Tomorrow.
week. But Dallas at Philly, what do we got on the line there, Al?
Dallas is actually favored by 4 points.
4-point favorite.
Is this you? This is you. You go now.
Dallas is favored
Dallas is favored by 4 points.
currently right now. Wow.
4 points at home against Philly.
No, Philly's at home.
Is Philly home in that game?
Philly's, I'm pretty sure that's the way
Nah,
you put it.
man.
Check that out, man.
I'm gonna check it
'Cause
right
that's gonna sway my
Is it really going to
my
sway
bet.
it that
yeah,
much?
of course. No, they're in Philly. They were at. Oh no, they are at Dallas because they
Oh,
were in
well.
Philly.
We said, man.
Okay, so
You're making
Dallas
me
is
check-
at
you're
home.
making me check
I'm still
this.
taking Philly on this one.
You're taking Philly.
I'm taking Philly
at plus
on this.
4.
At plus 4.
Thank you. I'm taking Dallas. at
I
minus
got
4.
like I said last week. I got faith in the Eagles finishing the season strong.
I don't.
And
It's in Texas.
You were the one that said
It's
the
in
Eagles
Dallas.
are done.
it is in Dallas.
We just
yeah,
said
it's in Dallas. Yeah,
We
yeah.
just said
You're
that,
right.
man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Just
All right.
confirming.
So we got that one done. The Sunday nighter, another great game. The LA Rams at the Chicago Bears. And what do we got here on this spread, Al?
Okay, get in the fours. LA Rams favored by 4.5 against Chicago.
Oh, you want to lead off this one?
Yeah,
Al?
I want the Rams minus 4.5
We're
for
gonna
sure. I'm
take the
taking it.
Rams minus 4.5.
Taking the Rams minus 4.5. Chicago's coming off a loss. They didn't look good. Maybe Trubisky comes back next week, but
Yeah,
I
with-
still think 4.5 points is enough for the
it's
Rams.
too early. See, this is the thing with the spreads doing them this early. Like, we don't know if Trubisky's going to be back.
He's gonna be
That's a huge
I'm
difference.
telling you, he's going to be back.
I'm gonna play it safe here. I'm gonna take the Rams as well. I'm gonna
Okay.
be a little strategic here.
So you
make
know-
sure that I don't.
When we both pick a team, you should probably pick the other team because that's the way it's been going
Yeah.
all year.
So the final game, the Monday nighter, the Minnesota Vikings at the Seattle Seahawks.
Seattle minus 3.5 favorites.
Favorites on a Minnesota team that didn't look too good today against the New England Patriots.
You want me to go?
Yeah, I could go. No, it's my turn on this one. What is it? Minus 4.5?
Minus 3.5.
Minus 3.5 for Seattle.
Yeah.
I am going to. That's a tough one, man. That is a tough one.
Not
They
for
are
me.
in
Not for me. It
Seattle.
isn't. Not for me. It isn't.
They are in Seattle. Is
Yeah,
that
they're in
confirmed?
Seattle. Yes, Jay.
That's confirmed.
The schedule. Yeah, the schedule is confirmed.
Unless they change it within the next
I'm gonna
week.
go with Seattle.
Good. I think Minnesota's gonna have a bounce backer. I'm writing all these bounce
Yeah,
backers.
you're-
I don't
you're
know,
gonna-
man.
Take it. So we got 4 different.
Minnesota needs to win. Let's go.
We picked 4 different games on this skid, so this could be another big swing.
Big swing week.
Okay, so that's the
I'd
5.
still like to get the Cellular Solutions sweep.
One that hasn't happened yet.
That's so rare.
And,
What a rare thing to happen.
I still have the potential to do that this week, depending on what happens in tonight's game and the Monday nighter. But we'll see. This could be a big swinging week, as we mentioned. 4 different games.
You too. You could
that
do
we
it this
picked.
week.
So it's going to be an interesting finish to the season and our NFL weekly picks against the spread again.
Can we bet on what happens to the loser? Who lose? Like what?
I think we talked about it.
What are you
and
gonna
then
have
we
to do when you
completely
lose,
forgot.
No.
I don't know. We got to figure out what you're gonna.
Okay, let's
what one of
let's
us
leave
is
it
gonna
up
have
to
do.
our followers and listeners. Let's get some ideas going.
Yeah, that would be great because we started
What
off
should-
week 1 and we still haven't come up with an idea. So
What should the losers? What should the loser do, or what should the winner get?
Yeah,
Maybe a lunch. Nice
a
lunch.
nice old-fashioned lunch.
Good old fashioned lunch. Tim
Right.
Hortons.
Yeah. All right, so let's wrap up the NFL Weekly Picks.
We got Clem D'Orazio coming up, ladies and gentlemen.
We have our guest coming in.
He's been sitting here patiently waiting.
He is.
No, he doesn't look impressed.
He's not looking impressed. We've been making him sit around, listen to us blabber about sports for the last hour.
He wants to talk lacrosse. So do I.
But we're going to tee him up here. Coming up next, guys, our interview with assistant coach of the New England Black Wolves of the NLL, Clem D'Orazio. Big clamor.
We finally got Clem to join us.
Coming straight off the airplane from Pearson Airport. How was the roadie, man?
It was good, and thank you for having me on, guys.
Oh, we appreciate you.
Thank you for coming on with us.
Trying to get it in the works for the last little while, and I know you got a busy schedule and busy one coming up as well. So we're happy that we got you in now when we could.
Preseason, got him in preseason.
Right. So yeah, tell us where you were coming from to tonight.
Yeah, we had our first weekend of training camp in Connecticut at the Mohegan Sun. We had 3 days of camp. A lot of stuff going on this weekend. Fan Fest Friday night, a couple scrimmages, a practice, just getting ready in our condensed training camp schedule this year.
Okay, and this is something, obviously, there was a little bit of the a CBA issue, a lockout for...
I got it right here. It says NLL and PLPA reach agreement.
So, did you guys miss any was the regular season supposed to have started by this point, or are you guys on pace?
Yeah, actually, this was supposed to be opening weekend.
This weekend?
Yeah, so we originally had lost 2 weekends.
So did FanFest move, or was FanFest...
FanFest moved. FanFest was supposed to be a few weeks ago in Connecticut for our team.
So they had to move that as well. Yeah, I guess that makes sense to do that. How was the turnout for FanFest?
Yeah, how is it down there?
It's awesome. It's awesome.
The support, the fans, is it...
Yeah, it's steadily growing. It's kind of nice to see. I've been a part of the team for about 4 years now, and each year it seems to get more and more followers, more people invested in the team.
That's fantastic.
And we had a couple sections full watching just an open scrimmage, and they did a thing for the fans afterwards.
You know what? It's such it's one of the oldest sports ever, but it's such a unique sport as opposed to the main four that you usually get, right? It's almost a refreshing change when you see lacrosse being played. I used to go see rock games all the time when I was younger. But now I just really want to go when Clem's coaching.
Yeah, we were there last year. I was able to go catch Toronto Rock and New England Black Wolves game, and we got the VIP treatment from Coach Clem. And I was surprised. It was my first actual professional lacrosse game. Such
a cool game to watch.
At the Scotiabank Arena was the ACC at the time. I was impressed for a few things. The action and non-stop, like they don't stop much. Like it's non-stop.
They're athletes.
They're like the skill and the athleticism you need to play that game, where you're getting the shit kicked out of you while running full speed, getting whacked with a fucking, I don't even know, what is that thing made out of, the lacrosse stick? Is that
plastic head, usually titanium, steel,
titanium,
graphite,
yeah.
shaft,
so you're getting whacked with that thing the whole way while sprinting full force and getting rocked by massive guys. I was surprised by that, but also off the field of the amount of fans. I think you guys there was about 10,000 fans that night.
Yeah,
I think it was a Saturday night, and the environment was awesome. Like you had guys that were shit faced, drunk,
like
cheering.
fans,
Yeah,
not players.
No, fans. Yeah, I'm saying in the stands. Guys with the shirts off, painted chests, chants at the opposing goaltenders.
So that's cool.
Like it was an environment that is different.
Old school sports fan environment.
Yeah, it's
not
got that
this hoity-toity Maple Leafs
right.
Where you
We'll show up in suits
and martinis and sushi.
Yeah, exactly. Sipping on their $300 bottle.
Nobody
of wine.
makes a noise at a hockey game anymore.
It was nice to see. It was refreshing to see. The environment was great. It was awesome to see, and you know what? I enjoyed it. I definitely, as my first time, I definitely enjoyed it. And that's the thing, Clem. I tell us what casual fans or non-fans at all of the sport of lacrosse and the NLL. Like, what are things that can draw a sports fan who doesn't follow lacrosse? What can draw them to go catch a game? Because I think we know it was huge back in the late 90s and early 2000s.
I used to go watch the Rock at the Garden.
That was one of the hottest tickets in town back then. But it obviously took a bit of a fall. But what are we missing from going to watch a lacrosse game?
Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of just described it in the sense of what it's like to be a fan watching the sport live. It's a fast-paced sport. You said the athleticism, and you talk about guys getting hit. They do wear equipment though, Jay, just to let you know, so they can take a slash.
I know they wear equipment, but like,
Do you?
It's not compared to like football players, hockey players. Is it similar?
Yeah, they wear shoulder pads, nothing on the bottom, right, Clem?
Yeah, so most guys, you have to wear shoulder pads, usually a bicep pad,
Yeah.
an elbow pad. Some guys wear a wrist guard,
I was
protect
going to
their
ask,
arm.
do a lot of guys wear the wrist guards? Because that's where the slashing a lot goes on.
Probably the offensive guys, most
The
offensive guys wear it.
Yeah.
Helmet, gloves, jock,
Yeah.
and away we go.
Yeah, I would listen. I'm saying though, like you see some of the hits, especially the ones up against the boards.
Yeah.
Like guys are getting rocked, and it I don't know. Maybe it's, I guess I'm thinking it's not as big and bulky as hockey equipment or football equipment, but they obviously have to protect themselves.
Yeah, it's definitely fitted to their bodies a little bit more conforming than a hockey or the big football pads.
Because they have to run.
They're running. They're taking different types of hits. It's not big bone crushing hits as much as those ones you're describing there. It's those are few and far between, but they are happening in the game.
I was upset I didn't get to see a scrap that night.
You know what? It's slowed down quite a bit.
Just like hockey, I guess, same kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean that's the other understandable side too, right? Parents are watching a game. They don't want to just see brawls all the time.
Yeah,
they want to see skill.
I remember the old, getting a little off topic, and maybe we can branch into this topic. I remember the old school days of going to watch you play at Mimico. And man, now you want to talk about a barn burner, just brawls, fights, big hits. Like that was so entertaining.
It'd be good to mention that Clem was
lacrosse.
also an elite lacrosse
Yeah, we'll
player.
toot his horn. We'll toot his horn a bit. We'll give
We
him some
don't
love.
usually, so let's take this opportunity.
How's that, Clem? Let's branch into kind of the beginning stages of, maybe you can do kind of both, where what it takes to become the road to a professional lacrosse player, and tie in your road to becoming a professional lacrosse player, a lacrosse player in the bigger lights. Like, give us an insight on that.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing for Canadian kids is playing box lacrosse in the summer, and there's multiple pro lacrosse leagues now.
Okay.
There's the indoor game, and then there's the outdoor game.
Right. So give that definition for dumb guys like us. What the box lacrosse
is NLL, National Lacrosse League, 5-on-5
right.
in an arena platform.
In a box.
In a box, yeah. The field game is 10v10, including the goalie. It's played on almost like a soccer pitch, football field.
Bigger, much
bigger, outdoors, much different style game. And there's a couple pro field leagues right now as well.
Really?
And the big thing is probably the NCAA lacrosse, which is one of the fastest growing NCAA
NCAA
sports.
lacrosse gets a lot of love on ESPN in the States.
One of the fastest growing NCAA sports.
Yeah, both men and women. Yeah.
Yeah, and Duke is a great team. They have a good program. I know there was that situation back in the day of that whole thing, but not get into that. But I always heard their name. There's some big schools that are known for basketball, known for football, but that are elevating in the game of lacrosse.
Yeah, a lot of the top Division I teams usually either have a pretty solid football program or a basketball program that kind of gets a lot of the media attention, and it helps promote the school.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
They hire some of the best coaches in the world too to help with those programs.
Now, is it like if you were offered, and tell me if I'm stepping out of bounds here, but if you were offered a job coaching a university team in the States, or a professional job in NLL, would that be a decision you'd have to like sit down and think, or is it like right away, no, professional NLL all the way?
Well, I think it's different, right? So the NLL isn't a full-time job.
Right.
Most coaches have another job, or they're retired and coaching in the NLL. So it's a little bit different, where the NCAA is a full-time job.
That's a full-time gig.
So you'd have to think pretty hard on what you want to do.
Yeah. Right now I'm pretty happy being a Canadian citizen and working where I'm working with
Right.
high school lacrosse players, and they're elite kids going to all different levels.
And do you see a lot of kids getting scholarships from here into the States?
Yeah, there's tons of Canadian programs that are help developing kids and getting them to Division 1, 2, and 3 schools. There's a whole bunch of other conferences as well, and even Canadian schools.
So is that the route then? We were touching upon it before. So you box lacrosse for a kid in Canada or someone playing lacrosse in Canada, box lacrosse, and then you're kind of going into that stream of is there a junior A type of thing, or there's college or scholarship? I know you yourself will touch on this in a bit as well, playing university, Canadian locally, you formerly St. Catharines, Brock University.
Yeah.
Brock alum.
We'll get into those
Go back.
those good times. Don't worry, buddy. We got those teed up.
Yeah, the trend right now is for the Canadian lacrosse player. They're playing junior A, junior B, junior C lacrosse. They're coming up from their minor systems, and a lot of them are going to the NCAA.
That's where they get scouted.
Yeah, well, no, they're getting scouted a lot in the junior programs.
Yeah.
The Ontario programs, and then if they're playing NCAA, it's based. They can't enter the NLL draft till they're done.
Okay.
But again,
So they got to do 4 years.
or
they-
that's
whatever.
always the plan. Yeah.
Yeah.
4-year degree, and once they graduate, then they can
Eligible for
be
the
eligible
draft.
for the draft.
Really?
But the kids that go to Canadian universities are eligible right away.
Really?
So you'll see guys that are 21 years old in a Canadian university entering the draft, whereas a lot of times it's kids that are 22, 23 years old entering the draft of the NCAA.
Is there a specific reason for that? Why there's the two differences in the Canadian universities and the U.S.?
Yeah, it's all about the sanctioning boards, right? The NCAA.
Oh,
You can't be
okay.
a pro athlete while.
Can't make money in the NCAA.
Right. Okay.
So, but I mean, you're seeing kids that aren't going to NCAA now entering the draft at 18, and starting to see what the NHL sees with those pretty dominant guys at that age.
Right.
That's the way the sport is going younger, and the talent is going younger and younger. That's the NHL way right now.
I think it's actually still the majority is going NCAA right now.
Okay.
I don't have facts in front of me, but you look
Right.
at first round, second rounds. Most of those kids played somewhere down south for
you
a
want
few
a
years.
little bit of that experience playing on a high level team.
Yeah,
That's
and I
all
mean
good
it's
for it.
it's no knock to Canadian university sports,
No,
but
but-
any person that follows sports knows the American college sports
there's a
scene
player
is
there's a player
It's a
combo.
totally different
different.
conversation, right?
Exactly.
They invest a lot of money in their athletics,
Right.
Yeah, they do.
which creates a lot of opportunity for young athletes, student
Mm-hmm.
athletes, right?
And
Yeah,
the exposure's there. Everything under the sun is
you get a
lot
pretty
better.
high education, nice degree too.
Exactly,
Right?
on top of it all, and but yeah, going into
Probably the most important too,
The
right?
most
Because
important.
a lot of these guys aren't working full-time jobs yet.
Right.
Right.
Or working full-time jobs as well as playing lacrosse.
As well
So
as playing lacrosse.
you want to be able to get a good job with that education.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially with lacrosse where it's not a big four sport where you can roll to the bank with millions of dollars. Right, you got to really think about
like-
during your career and post career. Like that has to be,
It's like how the old timers in the NHL, all those guys had jobs too.
of course. And it's like
Right?
today, you
as the
compare it.
league grows, there's going to be more money, and eventually, hopefully, that can be
Right.
a full-time job for a player.
And you compare it to the CFL as well, right? I mean, there's CFL MVP, Grey Cup MVPs that are your local TD branch manager. It's just the way it is, the money, all of that. So, touching back on the glory days. The glory days at St. Catharines, Brock University, 5-time champion.
I thought you only
Clem
had to
did-
go to school for 4 years, Clem. What?
Yeah,
Clem was so good that
added-
they made him. They forced him to go back to the university
For a fifth
for a
year.
victory
That's
lap
Someone
in
called
the
that
a
fifth
victory
year
lap.
and to win a 5th title. It was 5, right?
That's the only true part of your statement. Yes.
Oh,
I
man.
cha-
Sorry,
I-
those days were blurry.
I changed
Those
my
days got blurry, Clem.
I changed my minor, my teachable, in my 4th year, so I had added.
So you
and I had some
so
time
you
at
had to go back. It wasn't your choice. You
You're
just
right.
Hey,
had
if
to go
the
back.
teachable changes, you need to
Yeah,
have the
you
year.
got to go back for that victory lap.
Well,
You gotta
after
do
first
it.
year during lacrosse season, you took less courses. A lot of guys did that, so
Yeah.
that's what kind of added to the years as well. That 5th year, but
So is that the max you could have played 5 years, or did they have a
so
max?
again with Canadian universities, that it's you kind of be grandfathered in. So I know guys that have played 6 years
Wow.
for a team lead to teachers college after or
Okay.
a master's
In that same
program
school, yeah.
at the same school, or even guys that do a 4-year undergrad somewhere, and then they transfer to another school for their postgrad or their teacher's college or something along those lines, and they play 6 years total in Canadian University
Well,
Field.
not?
Give us a little insight to those glory days, man. Like, what was that like being part of a five-time? That's a dynasty, and Brock is. I don't know if they still are today. One of the top Canadian universities, lacrosse universities.
Yeah, they actually.
Great program.
I hate saying it, but they lost in the championship this year. In
they
overtime. As a Brock alumni, it's hard to see, but Western.
That's hard to see as a friend of a Brock alumni.
Yeah, well, Western's done a good job. They've won 3 in a row, so
Built up their program.
yeah.
So yeah,
but-
go back to give us the life, man, of a superstar lacrosse player like yourself running the Brock University campus.
So
what seems like a lifetime ago.
it was a long time ago, but no, I was lucky enough to play with a lot of guys in that program. Going back to the pros could play in Canadian universities, and what is it, 15 years ago now that I started, 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm playing with guys that were NL All-Stars. I was playing with guys that were first overall draft picks in the NL.
That's right. I remember you mentioning that. A couple guys that were coming by your house at times were in the actual NLL at the time.
Yeah. My roommate, I think it was second year, was actually a 7th overall draft pick to Arizona, Mark Tinney. And Tinney.
Yeah.
And, so they were all around. These guys were pros, and I was just a university guy playing
Just a
lacrosse,
university
and
guy.
some junior lacrosse and senior lacrosse. So
Just living the glory
University
life.
life.
Those were some good times, man. We both, Al and myself, made some road trips up to
did.
lacrosse, up to Brock. Back in those days, 10 to 15
Didn't
years
always
ago.
make it to the lacrosse games.
I think we only actually made it. I think
missed
I
a
only
couple
watched.
of those, guys?
I watched, 2 field lacrosse games. I think out of the whole 5 years you were there, there might have been 2 or 3 max. But we were definitely there for the parties and the. Although we stuck out as a sore thumb, and I don't know if you remember, Al.
Yeah.
A bunch of Italian guys
Italian guys.
walking into a predominantly Canadian-based university.
Yeah.
We definitely stuck out like sore thumbs.
No, we had a good time. That all led to Clem being in the role that he is now.
Exactly, and that's the crazy thing is those days of as much as it was about the fun and the partying
It's experience,
and we
man.
don't have to get into all the crazy stories of those days.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But we got to touch on that's the life of someone who grew up yourself in the GTA, the Toronto area, grew up playing box lacrosse, junior A
And hockey.
and Canadian University lacrosse. Now give us your next step after that.
So after Brock, I was playing field at Brock and then playing some senior B lacrosse in Ajax, I guess kind of same
Okay.
time. Gave up the playing around 26. Got my one shot with the Toronto Rock, and it didn't work out.
Didn't work out.
Hey, you had your
That's
shot.
okay.
I had my
man.
one shot,
A lot more than us.
Didn't work out. Didn't get the call back to main camp. Just a rookie camp. So,
Sorry.
that's kind of where it was like, what I think. I see the game differently than when I play it, and
As a coach.
I've always coached hockey and a little bit of lacrosse before that too, and I was lucky enough to get on the Brock staff a year after I was graduated from Brock. So it worked out well, and that's kind of what got me leading down the pathway to coaching.
And then you got the job with the Black Wolves. Is the Black Wolves the first?
That was a long time after I did.
You were working for another team before, weren't you?
Yeah, so field and box season are different. So we're
That's
doing
right.
Brock, and then I started in junior B with it was the then Markham Ironheads, and we had a lot of success. It was a lot of fun with that group. Then I did some senior A.
Seems like everywhere you go, there's success, Clem.
Senior A was a tough go.
Okay.
We didn't take. We were in the bottom half of the league most years with that, and then when I got the call to junior A, it's been probably the best thing for me.
Yeah.
I got to become a GM of a junior A team.
So that's really, really cool.
Yeah, that's fun.
remember
It's like
you
the
telling me
fantasy
that. I said,
leagues,
"What?
but with real people.
You're a GM, Clem? That's fantastic.
An actual general manager, not one that like us that pretends to be one behind our
man,
laptops.
Such a sad life we lead.
It's still fun joining the fantasy
That's
sports with you
awesome,
guys.
man.
Absolutely it is. It's not fair when you're going up against a real general
An actual
manager.
GM.
It's all the same, right,
That's
guys?
why he's
It's all
winning all the time, see?
I don't know about that. So we did the junior A thing. I've been doing that for 4 years now, which has been kind of cool. We've seen some kids develop within our program that started with us year one. They're all going into their 5th and graduating year now. And that's kind of what kick-started the head coach, Glenn Clark, of the junior A team, got a job as a head coach in New England and brought me in there as a video and scout.
Nice.
Which kind of makes sense. I get to see all the games throughout the season and whatever else we go to. And then the opportunity came on the bench, and this is my 2nd year, and it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool experience.
So what's your role as the assistant coach? What do you have to do?
So I'm the defensive coach.
Okay.
So I got to make sure they don't score goals.
That's
my job.
Oh yeah, we saw him. He was laying into his boys on the bench. When we went to the game last year.
Good. That's what a coach does.
This guy's face is redder. You could see his face from the nosebleeds.
Coach Clem used to coach us when we were in high school.
No, I don't yell. I don't yell at all.
No, but you look pissed. You look pretty pissed off.
Were you at the first one or the second one? Did we win the game or
no? Your goalie was getting shelled.
Yeah, that.
Sorry,
I remember that.
That's
one of my most memorable. And I know it's not too long ago, but one of the most memorable lacrosse moments coaching. First game ever, ACC. I'm looking up. Family and friends.
Yeah.
Friends are there, and we got pumped. And I remember looking down at the bench. They have, how the NHL coaches look at the TVs on the bench down on the floor.
Yeah.
Well, they have holes there during the NL game because I guess they take the TV out.
They don't want you guys to take them?
I wanted to hide right there in the middle of the game because it was
that bad.
We got beat by a lot. It was
You
something.
guys hung around in the beginning, but then the floodgates opened in the second half, and listen, it was entertaining, and we felt a little torn because I'm obviously from Toronto, and I always cheered for the Rock, but then I got to cheer for Clem. So I was like, we're booing the Rock, and we're getting it from the Rock fans too. And that was a lot of fun.
That's my buddy. I got to cheer for my buddy.
yeah. But sorry, Clem, you finish that off there. So you got your scouting gig, GM. What's next after that? This is kind of obviously as an assistant, you want to try and branch into obviously a role like any assistant, a head coaching role one day. Which would be obviously something that I'm assuming you would love to do in the future. General manager again is that more a coaching or general manager side of thing? Do you have a preference?
I think I have a lot to learn still in the role I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm a young coach
still
in the league,
year.
and there's a lot of nuances I still need to learn. So, try not to look too far ahead and just
enjoy the moment.
Try and do well in the position I'm in, and try and help make the team successful. Right.
Absolutely, man.
We got your back over here, man. We're gunning for you.
Big Black Wolves fans.
Yep.
Huge.
Thanks, guys.
And so I wanted to ask too. Surviving in the climate, the sporting climate in North America, with obviously the big four sports. What is that like? How does the NLL keep their head above water competing against those big four? Is it something that is, it's can you compare it to, I know I keep going back to this comparison, and maybe it's ignorant of myself, but is it that whole CFL kind of thing where you're not going to compete with the big four, you're never going to compete with the big four, but you chug along, you get by, you appease your fans, and you get that level of professionalism where you're a professional league, and it's what it is. You can't compete.
I think the growth is there, no?
The growth is there, but it's gone in spurts. Like I was mentioning before, the early 2000s and the late 90s, Toronto Rock was 20,000 people, 18,000 people at every game, right? It kind of comes, it dips and flows, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not in comparison to the big four. So how is the NLL surviving?
So it is trending in the right direction, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The CBA kind of works some of the details out for both sides to move forward and to build the league in a pretty positive way. The average attendance around the league, and again, don't quote me, but it's something between 9,000 and 10,000 people per building. The big thing that's taking place is a lot of pro franchises that own their own rinks are buying teams. So you look at the Buffalo Sabres own the Buffalo Bandits.
Oh, okay.
That
I
helps.
know
That helps a lot.
The Vancouver Canucks just purchased the Vancouver now Warriors,
Oh.
and all team. Calgary owns a team, so they're becoming a spot in their arena.
Yeah.
And those guys seem to know what they're doing marketing wise, in terms of how to build their product within their community,
Absolutely,
or city for that matter. And I think they're going to put the same emphasis on the lacrosse program. And if that catches on, it's going to be definitely a huge positive for the league. And as the league continues to grow and add teams, if we get to a sustainable number, I think they can move towards that direction that you're talking. And
For sure.
Yeah.
When you have a professional, Big Four professional ownership taking over your NLL team, like that's a whole other level, right? You're getting that marketing. You're getting the professional.
You're getting experienced ownership in that specific demographic.
Field,
And
yeah.
right. You're in the sports
in the
environment.
sporting industry, right?
yeah, and they know what they're doing, right?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the key to it. And,
Exactly.
as
That's
for the
huge.
most part.
it should help.
For the most part, they know what they're doing. Some people in Buffalo might disagree.
yeah.
That guy has done. Pagula has done a lot for that city.
Much,
right?
From an outsider looking in, it's like without this guy, the Bills don't even exist there anymore, do they? The Bills, the Sabres.
Yeah, there's been a lot of turmoil, but like Al said, then you speak to people from Buffalo. There's a lot of they have
second guessing.
They have a different opinion of the ownership, but
they gotta
regardless,
understand that they wouldn't be there this big without
him.
him. So be grateful. I think that's my opinion.
But yeah, regardless, like we were saying, with professional ownership taking over some of these NLL teams, they're in good hands, right?
And the NLL is different than a lot different than other sports. Like you said, a lot of the players have another job, and although you do play for and you do coach for the New England team, a lot of the players come from around here. So maybe you can speak to how that kind of works.
Yeah, good point, Al. Because Clem, you're able to live locally, still
in the GTA,
the GTA area, while coaching a team from New England. Give us a little quick insight on how that works, even with the players that play for the team.
Yeah, so we do this year. We're going to be doing our practices, probably Friday nights or Saturday nights the night before we have a game, and then we also do a shoot around. The morning of our game. So we have the ability to fly guys in, coaches in. All three of our coaches are from Ontario. Last year I think it was 15, 16, 17 guys from Ontario that would get flown into games, and it's happening in different cities and different teams. You got Rochester, Buffalo, and Toronto that are all kind of local guys as well, and they drive to those arenas. And
that would help a lot. A lot of games are a little bit, those games especially are local, and you guys can kind of come from the GTA going to those games. But the practices, you said, are they here or are they in New England?
So we've changed it this year. So we've gone from last year we did every Tuesday night was in Toronto area, and most of those teams that I just mentioned all practice either Tuesday or Wednesday night.
Right.
So this year we're going to practice at buildings, whether it's where we're playing or in Connecticut. We'll go to a practice facility the Friday night before for our games.
And that allows for, I guess, they get flown in for the weekend, pretty much.
They get flown in for the weekends,
right.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess that helps with travel.
Well, and it allows them to work that job still too, right?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's really cool how it's
they make it work. They make it work for the players. They make it work for their coaches, and they have to. Like Clem mentioned, it's not a full-time gig. Right? They're not raking in.
Are there any players in the NLL, full-time just NLL players?
They all have different things they're doing, but there's guys that just partake in lacrosse.
They might do camps in the off season, right?
And they that's lacrosse.
They play in a couple different leagues.
What's the? I wanted to touch on this before we wrap things up. The pay, the salary. What's the highest pay? Who's the highest paid NLL player today? Is there a specific amount that the highest player you've known makes in the league?
Yeah, so each team has a salary cap, and you're looking. It's roughly around 400,000.
Is it a hard cap or soft cap?
It's a soft cap.
Soft cap.
It's a soft cap, and actually teams do go over it, and they have to pay their
luxury tax.
They got to pay their
I
taxes.
like soft caps.
Yeah, I mean it gives teams the opportunity to try and add some pieces that
Go
they
over
think
if
will
they need to,
right,
yeah.
and we've seen it work and we've seen it not work within the league.
Yeah.
Players roughly make about, I think rookies are $11,000 to $12,000, and vet max you're looking up into the high 30s. Now all those bonuses can be added, and
Variables.
a lot of things that things that just got added in the CBA, the new agreement, that I don't know exacts right this second off the top of my head, but that's your rough average.
Average.
Housing and things like that can be taken care of.
Little perks on top of
Right, all within the
yeah,
contract.
and that happens in all sports.
Incentive bonuses.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they're still professional lacrosse players, which is cool into itself.
Hey, sign me
that
up
can
any
be
day. You're
marketed
gonna
in many ways for themselves, right?
pay me $20,000 to be a part-time professional lacrosse player. I'll take that any day of the week.
Well, we are in trial kicks right now, Jay.
Oh, all right.
Jay.
You guys need a goalie? You guys need a goalie?
Yeah, they need a goalie. Yeah, like you.
Get that trial going.
Hey,
They need
man.
a goalie that saves.
No, I'd
Make
be scared.
saves.
I'd be scared shitless of that ball coming flying at me.
Yeah,
Man.
some of those guys can really chuck it.
Oh man, that ball hitting the glass.
How
almost
fast
like
can-
a
how
puck.
fast can- how
Almost
fast
like
can
a
you
puck,
throw a ball?
man.
Can I? I'm a lightweight, but some of these
Okay,
guys.
that's the top guys. The top guys.
I think they're up in the 120 mile per hour.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
higher than that probably.
Yeah, I don't know
I
how the
didn't, I
goalies
didn't
do
realize
it.
it was that fast. That's crazy.
And correct me if I'm wrong. The field lacrosse goalies don't wear as much equipment as the box lacrosse. Am I correct on
You're
that?
correct. They wear a helmet, a
see that?
chest pad,
I remember that.
and a jock.
And I think
Wow.
I remember one time, like hungover, stumbling to one of your Brock games, and seeing the goalie, and I was like, "What the fuck is this guy? This is the goalie? This guy's taking 100-mile-an-hour solid rubber balls, and that's all he's wearing."
To the knee, to the.
It's pretty crazy.
Bigger net, different shots.
Bigger net, a lot of it's further distances. I get it, but still.
A lot of respect for those guys.
Oh man.
So would you play box goalie or?
I would play box.
field?
Yeah, I'd be box. Yeah,
So
oh,
you're,
yeah.
you're a box
Yeah.
goalie.
A lot of
Sure.
equipment there. Yeah.
Yeah, you got double the equipment, man. Probably a lot more goals. Probably getting fed.
Yeah,
right?
there's
Higher scoring in box across the field. Or
It differs.
Okay,
I mean,
okay,
Good lacrosse games are 8-7, 9-8, 10-9.
okay.
That's what both sports.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess.
So the season starts in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Let's get into before we finish her up. Let's talk about this upcoming season.
It starts December 15th. You guys are in Georgia,
Yep.
playing against Georgia. What's their nickname? What's
From
Georgia nickname? Swarm.
Georgia. Yeah.
Georgia Swarm.
Yeah.
Georgia Swarm. Do they play out of Atlanta?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about 30 minutes from the
Okay.
airport in Atlanta there.
Are they supposed to be a good team?
They've been a top team the last couple of years. They won it 2 years ago. They've made the playoffs the last 3 years out of the 3 teams that make the playoffs each year. So yeah, they've a good team. They got arguably one of the best players in the league, and Lyle Thompson, who just can take over games. So as a D coach, it's always fun to have to try and figure something to stop
One
him.
of those guys. Yeah.
And they got a couple other really strong weapons within their
What
team.
about your team? What's the outlook this year?
We want to
Give
be
us some
back in the
inside
playoffs.
scoops on the New England Black Wolves.
We want to be back in the playoffs. So we want to win. As every team that starts off at the beginning of the year, built the team to be pretty fast, and we want to use that to our advantage every time we play.
Well, don't tell all your secrets.
Good, high hopes for the upcoming year. And what? How many games is it again this season?
It's an 18-game
18
season.
game season. That's right. And normally games are played on the weekends.
Yep. Friday,
Fridays or
Saturday,
Saturdays, Sundays.
Yep.
That's awesome.
We work our schedule around the New England Black Wolves, the New England Patriots on the Sundays.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, might not want to play a game. Yeah,
The same time
as Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. Might
Best-
hurt the
football team
attendance
last
of
day.
They go 1 o'clock. We'll go later in the day.
Yeah,
or vice
yeah.
versa.
Smart.
That's it. Well, you know what, Clem? We thank you for coming in.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
absolutely.
We really, really appreciate it. We know you just came in from Boston, so we do appreciate you making the time. And hopefully we can get you back in at some point, maybe midway through the season if you have some time.
Yeah,
Get
midway.
a Black Wolves
end of
update.
season.
I might just come listen to you guys every week.
Oh,
Like that.
see?
Hop
there
in
you
when
go.
you can, man. No, we definitely do appreciate it. We have been since we started the podcast. You were one of the first guys we wanted to get on, and it's not just because you're a friend of the show, but also you know what, lacrosse doesn't get the exposure right now as it deserves. It's an unbelievable sport. It's entertaining as hell to watch, especially live. I encourage anyone who hasn't gone to see a Toronto Rock game and you're living in the GTA or wherever you are and they have a professional lacrosse team, go check it out. It's a great time. Grab some beers with some friends. It's entertaining. The crowds are lively, and that's all I can say about it. I had a great time, and I definitely love to go again. And it's not going to break your wallet either. It's a lot more affordable, especially in this part of
Sure, when you get free tickets, right?
Well, when you get hey, go ahead, man. No, you know what I'm saying,
Red
man.
Leaf tickets this year. Red Leaf tickets this year. Yeah, we'll make sure they're there.
But it's an affordable, a lot more affordable than going to a Leaf game, a Raptor game, a Blue Jay game.
Enjoyment factor, you might get more enjoyment.
You will, and you know what? Hey, it's not as, you know what? 10,000 fans. Still a lot, but you know what? It's not like going to that ACC during a Leaf game where you're waiting in line for 20 minutes just to grab a beer or take a piss. It's a great experience for a fan to go and enjoy, and everything wrapped up around it. It was just a great experience, and I want to make sure our listeners know to go check it out.
Appreciate it, guys.
And we wish you all the best in this upcoming season. Hope you guys do well. Hope you guys
hope you guys do make that playoff run. And
we'll be definitely following. I'm going to be following this year for sure.
Bring an NLL championship back home to the Vaughan GTA area. What do they call it? The champion.
The Champions Cup.
Champions Cup.
That makes a lot of sense.
Very nice.
That makes a lot of sense.
Smooth. All right. Well, yeah, Clem,
thanks very
again,
much, guys. I really
thank
appreciate
you,
it.
and go get some rest, man. I know you've had a long day and a flight, so go get back home to the family. And like Al said, we're definitely going to have you on again in the future.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. All right. So before we wrap up the podcast,
Thanks, Clem.
boys. Thanks again. Yes, thank you, Clem. You guys got any little pointers, any
News
topics
and notes?
Yeah, from the week before we wrap things up? Not much. I got a couple. If you don't got anything, that's okay.
Let's hear it, Jay.
Let's
So we forgot to mention this during the NBA thing, the starting five, the NBA topic. It's kind of an interesting topic that came out last week. Dwight Howard was accused by his ex, who is a transvestite, and basically got accused of assault, something along those lines. I don't know much of the story.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get too much into it, but it was a massive, I was looking on Twitter, and it's funny, everybody was saying the same thing I was thinking is, you saw Dwight Howard, everybody was tweeting about him. So you're thinking, was he traded again? What did he do now? Is he on his 10th team of his career now? And that story came out, and it was just like, ooh, I don't want to really touch this, but it's just
something's up with Dwight Howard. To be on that many teams.
He's a weird dude. He's a weird dude.
He's had a lot of issues with every team he's gone to.
I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that. If that's your bag,
no. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just the story that was blown out. And just the reaction to it was pretty crazy. So that's something we forgot to bring up. It was a big topic in the world of sports, so I wanted to bring it up before.
Absolutely,
we forgot to.
You know what? The more power to him. I hope he just doesn't. I hope people don't railroad the guy for something.
Well, if he assaulted this
okay,
woman,
assault is different. I just don't like the whole lifestyle thing. Whatever you
whatever he does, he does. There should be no effect on that.
Yeah, you're gonna get dinged on that. That's not cool.
Exactly.
But with the whole lifestyle thing, I think it should just be whatever, man.
You do you, absolutely. But one more thing, guys, not really sports related, but I touched on it in the beginning of the show. And a little situation of mine this past weekend. I want to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I want to see what you guys think.
Happened,
I want to
Jay?
see what our listeners think. So, spending a lovely Saturday afternoon with the fiance, doing some Christmas shopping. All the hustle bustle of the holiday season, and we said, you know what? She had won a gift certificate to a restaurant that I'll keep nameless for now, pending how the situation.
I'm gonna lose it already. I'm gonna lose it.
Pending how the situation goes. So we had a gift. She won a gift certificate at a charity gala last month. Anyways, we decided let's treat ourselves for a nice lunch and it's nearby our house. So we go to visit the establishment, the restaurant, and we splurge. Hey, we got a
card, man.
We have $100 gift certificate.
Money's no option at this point for Jake.
Bring
Let's go.
bring that third Aperol spritzer. Absolutely. You know what? Top her up with another.
Two
I got you, honey.
servings of calamari.
Yeah, I got you, honey. Don't worry. We got a gift certificate.
Fried and grilled.
Yeah. So we go to town. We go to town, right? Nice cappuccino after. Anyways, I pull out, and something was saying to me when I got in there, maybe I should bring up the gift certificate before
Yeah,
the
you should
ordering.
have. You should have.
Right?
I would have held it out as I was walking in.
So I didn't, and it was time to pay the waitress. Lovely waitresses at this place, fantastic job. And she said, "You want the bill?" I said, "Absolutely." And I said, "Before you bring the bill, I just to let you know I have a gift certificate. You know, whatever add-on, whatever the extra is." And she looked at it like, I basically just hand scribbled a note saying $100 on a piece of paper and handed it to her. So that threw me off right away. And
That's what.
so I saw her make that look, and I said, "Is everything okay?" She goes, "Oh, I don't know if we can take this."
What do you mean? It's a gift certificate.
Well, so I said, "Well, what do you mean?" I said, "Is there something wrong with it?" And she goes, "No, let me go speak to the other waitress." I said, "Okay." And she goes to speak to the other waitress.
That was your cue to leave, Jay.
They're talking, and I'm already getting ready. My fiance's telling me, relax, just let's see what happens.
Getting riled up.
Or the other waitress comes and says, listen, we're not sure that we can take this. We need to call our manager. This is so basically the gift certificate was a piece of paper. It had the company. It was typed out, signed by the director of the operations of that specific
Sounds
restaurant.
pretty legit to me,
Sounds
Jay.
pretty legit. So she says this the gentleman who was the director of operations no longer works for the company. Okay.
That's not your problem.
So I said, okay, that's
Sounds like
nice.
there's a little bit of bad beef between
Bad blood?
There
between
was.
the ops manager
Right.
and
they
the
should
restaurant.
the restaurant.
They should have put the client or the customer in
That-
the middle of it.
Right.
So I said, well, that's all fine and dandy, but I need to know what's the issue is. So they called the manager. Long story short, this is the part that upset me. The manager basically just told them, no, don't take it. And that was it. And hung up. They came back to me and said, sorry, our manager said it. I said, well, no. You call your manager back and you tell him that I have a gift certificate here and I'd like to use it. And I'd like to get at least an explanation.
Or you speak to the manager.
Right.
Say,
I said,
whoa.
call him back. Sure enough, she calls back. He's not answering now.
No kidding.
He's not answering, Mr. Big Shot Manager.
No kidding.
So I said, give me his name. I'd like to know when he's in. Long story short, you came in later that night. And I had a very interesting conversation with the manager.
What did he
friend
say?
of mine. His reasoning was basically to me that he could not take it because of the situation going on with the director of operations leaving the company. I think there was some issues with
Bad blood.
Right.
Bad blood.
And apparently they're getting audited next week. And I said, listen, that's all fine. I get it.
I don't
You're
care,
covering
though.
No. You're covering your ground as a manager, new manager brought in. He's only been there a month. I get it. You got to cover your ass.
Yeah.
But you hung up. You said, no, don't take it, and hung up. And
For
that's
$100
it.
bucks, man.
That's final story. Not, hey, you know what? Let the customer know. Sorry, he has to pay right now. Come back later tonight. I'll be in. Call me later tonight. Let's discuss this. Let's figure out something.
Yeah.
No, you don't just say
That's
no.
the way to do it, yeah.
You don't just say no as a manager of a customer. Everything revolves around the customer in the
And
food
what's
in the restaurant
$100 to the
industry.
bottom line of this company?
Exactly. And that's the point. And he was a big shot, eh? Well, listen, I was a manager of Casey's and I was a manager of Eastside Mario's. And
Good
man.
for you, buddy.
Sorry.
Good for you, man.
Yeah, like I
have a gift certificate.
Yeah. So he ended up
asking for your resume.
He ended up understanding my side of things because I made sure he did. And he basically, we left at his, he's going to talk to ownership of the actual, it's a franchised restaurant. Mm-hmm. He's going to talk to the ownership and he's going to call me back. He wanted to know where I got it from, what the charity gala was. He wanted to know all the ins and outs. I said, buddy, This is my point here, is you're making me feel like I'm some person coming off the street giving you a fake gift certificate. Do you know how embarrassed I feel now?
In front of my fiance.
In front of my fiance? I gotta be made to look like that?
Jay, that would have...
if my... she's a sweetheart and she's calm and she kept me calm because I was ready to lose my mind.
Yeah, no kidding. I would have lost my mind, Jay. That's ridiculous.
It is. So I'm going to keep you guys posted next week.
Let us know
on how my phone call goes with said manager of the
Talk
restaurant.
to the owner.
Oh, well, we'll see how if he gives me the wrong side of the conversation, then I'm going to definitely try and speak to someone else. But that was my story, guys. It's never happened to me, and I hope for the restaurant's sake that they do
It could be resolved.
fix that out and resolve it, because
Otherwise, maybe we got to name names next week.
maybe I got to name names. Maybe we got to drop some names.
Maybe I'm
and
thinking
not-
twice before I'm going to eat there.
Right?
Let's
And that's the bad thing, is it was delicious. It was
Yeah, it's the
fantastic.
best.
It was fantastic. So that was my story. I wanted to vent a little bit.
a
with
downer
that.
story, Jay. To
No,
end the
who knows?
podcast.
It could end well. We'll find out
We
tomorrow.
don't know yet.
We'll find out tomorrow. I'll update all the listeners.
At least you
and
ate
guys.
good that night there.
I ate. It was a lunch too. It was
Oh.
a lunch. I told the guy, listen, man, that was a pretty expensive lunch. Like,
I didn't come just for soup.
yeah, I don't normally come around and spend $180 on a lunch. Like,
$80, sure. You're going out for a nice lunch.
Yeah.
yeah,
$180.
$180
That's dinner,
bucks.
buddy. That's
dinner. Sure, a Saturday night dinner, you have no problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
But lunch at 1:00 in the afternoon. So that's my story, guys. Thank you for letting me vent, and
Yeah, no
listeners
problem.
too for
That's
listening.
what it's for.
I'll update you guys next week. But that was
Quick update. Game of the night before we leave.
Yes,
30-30. 30-30 in the game of the night.
Steelers just tied it,
Steelers just tied it after the Chargers came back hard.
roaring.
Came roaring
What
back.
was that? 20 unanswered points, something
like that.
23 unanswered points.
Unbelievable, these guys. They always got Steelers always got to make it hard on themselves. Just win the game. You're up by like 20 points. Come on
4
now.
minutes and 10 seconds
4 minutes,
left.
10 seconds left. Rivers is going to have the ball. He's going to milk the clock, and they're going to kick a field goal with half a minute left.
Half a minute left.
Then Ben's going to get the ball back, and we'll see what happens.
Let's see what happens. Well, let's before we wrap it up, we want to make sure we again thank Clem D'Orazio for coming in studio off a long flight,
Talking
and
some lacrosse.
talking some lacrosse with us, and we'll definitely have him again before the end of the season, and to give us some updates, and also to thank our sponsor, Cellular Solution, as well. So, boys, this
And
was
thanks for the listeners. Thanks to the
thanks
listeners.
to the listeners. Yeah, the
That's
most
why I'm
important,
here, Jake.
the
That's why
most
I'm here.
important. Thank you
Thanks to
to our
listeners.
listeners.
Thanks for the followers. You guys are awesome. Keep them coming.
Yeah, keep doing what you're doing. We got a lot of responses this week for the questions and the topics from the Instagram story, so keep those coming as well. And yeah, we're really excited to keep this going. We had an action-packed episode, over 2 hours, I think. So
This is probably the longest one.
yeah, hang in there and listen to us. Car ride home, anything. Make sure to tune in. So, as always, on behalf of Anthony, Albert, and myself, we want to thank you all for tuning in and listening to the podcast. We'll catch you guys next week. You're listening to the Red Leaf Sports Podcast.